Hey, how y'all doing out there? Y'all hype? I'm hype. I'm actually extremely excited for this. I think we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna watch the live stream from Kabam, get the information that we deserve. I think we actually deserve this. They told us they were gonna give us Ascension information in January. They waited to the last second, but maybe always late, but worth the wait. We will find out. I am pumped. I'm hyped. Give me your predictions for who's going to be in the Ascension pool. We talked about that this morning on my Discord server. I think they're going to go kind of in the middle. I think there's a lot of reasons to think Kabam's going to go kind of on the lower spectrum of the power level, right? For Ascension, I think that could make a lot of sense because, hey, let's get people to rank up their kingpins. Let's rank up your Jean Greys. Let's rank up your broken OP busted champions. You spent all of 2025 getting, earning, spending money, time, units, all of that. You guys were there. You remember what that was like. That's what I could see. Also, though, then people predicted some stronger champions. And I was like, I could see that too. Get people hyped, buying the Ascension dust, trying to earn the Ascension dust, rank up your champions. Luke Cage was mentioned. I was like, y'all crazy, but I like you. That's crazy, but I like you. So we're going to watch the live stream, and then I'm going to react. Apparently people like that, and I'm going to do it. We're going to have some fun, and then we're going to do some analysis. I might even record some videos. As you guys know, if you've been attending my live streams or you're in my Discord, I'm getting on a flight today. I'm going to be flying. I got a little bit of a work trip. I'm fortunate. I'm going to get to see my friends, have some fun. But that means I have even less time today than normal to record some videos. I want to get those videos out for you all this weekend because, yeah, it's time. You know, I'm giving Kabam a little crap for being late. I'm a little late, too, on this. We got a tier list to get out for you. Also, thank you so much for all these new follows. I really appreciate that. The drops will be enabled. So as soon as Kabam, I think, goes live, I believe you'll be able to get them here, too. But we're going to be streaming afterwards to help you finish off those drop milestones. I benefit as well. I hate when people act like they don't benefit. I obviously benefit as well. So I appreciate you being here. What I do want to ask you, though, and we're getting some new follows, and I really appreciate the new follows. And I'm not going to interrupt the Kabam live stream by thanking for every follow. So I just want you to know, thank you very much. And what I am going to ask is that sound that plays with the new follows, is that disruptive for you? Is it loud enough where it will disrupt the stream? If it is, let me know, and I will try to disable the animations and the sounds so it's not disrupting the live stream. We want to hear the news, right? Zeus, what's up, dude? Mr. Magoo. Rich the Man said there's a big surprise in the live stream. Rich the Man, he is the man for a reason. He wasn't born with that name. I know a lot of people think that's the name his parents gave him, Rich the Man. It's actually not true. At some point, it was bestowed upon him because he is the man. So I'm pumped up for that. Maybe new glitches are coming in game. Hey, do not be shocked. Do not be surprised. I don't think any of us would be if there's some bugs. If Kindred is at the controls. What's up, Stolen? How you doing, man? Ozzy, I'm feeling great, man. How about yourself? This game has glitches? Come on. That's crazy talk. Well, there'll be none of that around here. Loving the old school quotes. Thank you so much. I'm a big fan of the movie. We talked about that. We've been having some fun, man. We've been having some fun. Epic Chicken, how you doing? And then Mr. Magoo. Nope. Good. Okay. All right. And let's see how we doing here on the other side as well. Mr. Rushing, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. Not Oryx. Okay, not Oryx. I think that means you're Oryx, but you tell you not. I don't know. I typically believe people until they show me that they're lying. I tend to be, I'm a very honest person myself. And so as a result, I interpret people as being honest. But I got to tell you, when someone says, I am not this, and then capitalizes their name afterwards, it's over the course of 47 years, I've learned that maybe you actually are Oryx. I don't know. You tell me. We'll find this out. Eric Power, how you doing, bud? I appreciate you being here. If it's not money involved with Kabam, then it ain't happening. Well, they are a business, my friend, but I do hear you. Every once in a while, it feels like they're a little too hungry for that money, right? You're like, dude, you not remember all the money you just got in December? I was there. I remember it. What's up, Amon? Anthony, how you doing, buddy? I put not because Oryx is taken, so I can't be him. I'm so sorry. In my mind, you are Oryx. You are the one, the original, the only Oryx, if that is helpful. 47 years, Yusafa. You're Unk. Oh, man, I'm past Unk. Whatever is I'm like great Unk, I think. I like that because I get to use the term great in there. What's up, Yusafa? Thanks so much for being here, man. Yeah, man, I'm going strong on 48 soon. Yeah. Just a matter of a few months. For Strictly Damaged Champion, Star-Lord is kind of really mid. I thought you were going to say pretty great. It's really interesting. Like, and obviously we're just talking, having fun here. Let me know your predictions for the Ascension pool. I was super hyped for Star-Lord, right? A lot of you have heard my spiel on this. I'm still very excited for the chase. Again, thank you for the follow. You guys not saying that that's disruptive has led me to believe that it's not disruptive, but again, let me know if you are. And so I'm disappointed at the Star-Lord we got. I am, okay? Because I think I tend to look at the game in Champions and Wars, like where am I going to use them? How frequently am I going to use them? I'm big on playing the characters I want to enjoy, but at some point I have to recognize, like, if I'm enjoying BGs and I just keep losing because this character at most can score 47,000 points, like I'm gonna not have that much fun with them. Also, on similar level, if I'm using them in story quests or in Coliseum, and I'm using more items, it's taking me longer because they're just that inferior. Then I don't like them. I'm not a fan. Yeah, again, I thank you so much for all these follows, guys. I'm not going to interrupt this particular stream because we're going to be trying to hear a lot with all the thank yous, but know that I appreciate you. And so I really focused in. I really love the new champ reviews of MCoC, Noob, and Grass. I think they function. They focus a lot on functionality, how the character works. We're going to use them. And so I kind of came away with this like, I don't know if I love him. And then like later that day, I was able to see Seaton and MSD are like, I love him. He's the greatest in the world. And what I thought was, those are two reputable sources too, in my opinion, very reputable sources. And so what I thought was, if there's anyone who kind of could maybe know a little bit more about what's coming in the game, modes wise and things like that, that's in the CCP and doing YouTube videos, it's probably MSD. And I don't know, if I was Kabam, I would probably give Seaton some early access to knowledge and things. So what I'm trying to do is be like, maybe something cool is coming our way. Maybe Coliseum and stuff. Star-Lord does seem like he ramps up pretty well, but I agree with you. Like in general, I took him to rank 3 yesterday because we got him and I really like him. I like the coat and I like the look and the purple and all that. I think it looks really cool. I'm excited for the general chase, but yeah. So hyped to see what Blue Marvel looks. Dude, I'm pumped for Blue. I think we all are. What I do think I may have done though is I am probably too hyped for Blue Marvel. I'm probably like expect him to be literally. I basically expect him to be Jean Grey, right? Or Nico, and that's probably not a fair expectation. But man, is there good reason for those expectations? I remind you of Bastion. Thank you so much. That is an incredibly cool thing for a person of my age to hear. Thank you very much. Black screen. It's funny is we're just reading the chat. I was going to do the side quest, but let's just read chat. Have fun, man. This is fun. It's exciting. Hey, what's up, Hillador? Thanks so much, buddy. Twitch drops rewards. I do not know them. I don't. What I'm hoping is that today they announce the big broad plan. Like, here's how you're going to get Thor, man. You watch this many hours of the course of 2026, you're going to get 8 versions of Thor. And then that way people like just drops are like constantly on, just always on. They're AM PM, man. They're open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what I would love. Again, selfishly, I also benefit from Twitch drops. So I'm not going to act like, whoa, dude, I just think it's a wonderful thing for you guys. No, it's helped me too. I hate when people do that. There's no reason not to acknowledge that it's helpful to you. Hey, if I get yesterday incursions when that Killmonger wouldn't go to 3 bars, it's because of human staff. Sure, thank you. As you can see, I just don't do incursions that much. I had no thought, nothing about the actual hacks occurred to me. So thank you very much. I appreciate you bringing that up. I get it's kind of like the Deathless Chase, so they can't be too OP. It is. And that's what I'm assuming they're doing, which then made me feel more hyped for Doom. I mean, I'm pumped for Doom anyways. But if Doom is on a similar power level of Deathless Thanos, oh man, bring me the Doom. Bring me Doom. Bring them to me now. Like, I am so hyped for it. So I'm trying to like find the silver linings, right? Make a little lemonade out of the lemons there. I wonder who the equivalent of She-Hulk will be for the Stellar Champ. So I'm hoping we find out the next Stellar Champs too, or at least one of them. Fan, what's up, dude? Cool to see you on the Twitch side. I will have it running, but not watching. I got you, man. I really appreciate you doing that. That feels like a lot of us fellow I guess I got to say content creators now, because I'm on multiple platforms. My kids were like, "Are you going to be on TikTok?" And I was like, "Maybe." They're like, really? I was like, there's a small chance. We'll see. I don't really know how TikTok works yet, but I feel like YouTube Shorts, maybe like what are usually those, they might be okay over there. And like, you know, if you were hunting food, you'd go where the food was. If you're a content creator and you're creating content, you probably should post it where the people who want to watch content are. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I do feel like that meme, the Steve Buscemi gif, I guess it is, or meme, where I'm like, "Hello, fellow TikTokers." Like, how out of place am I on TikTok? What's up, Dawkins? How you doing, man? Are we finding out who the summer's choice? I think today. Yeah, I think we are. I think we are. And again, and I will stop when the Kabam live stream stops. Thank you so much for all the follows. I'm not shouting them out because one, there's a lot coming. I know y'all want your drops and I'm benefiting from that. So thank you so much for being here. I am streaming almost daily during the week these days. So come stop by and say hello. I appreciate you being here though. I really do. But I will stop saying thank you and all that once the live stream starts so we can hear what they have to say. Thanks for being on both sides there, Hilgendorf. I really appreciate that. I know DLL has said that people won't like him on multiple occasions. I think it's pretty clear what you're saying, Spiderpool. But you guys know I went to law school and I'm very like zeroed in on this sentence here on this paragraph, and it's I'm not trying to be a jerk, okay? And don't worry, the whole law school thing, you didn't break any laws. I'm saying like the way I read things is, are you saying that multiple times on multiple occasions, DLL, the designer of the champion, has said, I don't think people will like him? Or has DLL said, I think there will be multiple occasions where people don't like him? It's different. It is different. I know it can sound like that semantics, but those are two different things. I will say the persistence charges has me a little worried about that. Although I will say, this is kind of where, going back to my thing about MSD and Seaton being like, Star-Lord's amazing. I love him. I love Star-Lord. Is there are people who know things that we don't. There are people who know stuff about the game, what's coming, what's in development, what's being talked about, what they're testing, what they're making their videos on, like Kabam, that we, the players, don't. And so I do feel like there are more characters coming out of recent who build up not only in a fight, but over the course of a quest. Like even J. Jonah Jameson's like that. I did my video on him. I got him at rank 4. Fight 1, he's a bit of a noodle. He's a little bit of a noodle. But as you build up in the fight, his damage gets pretty respectable. And then as fight 2, 3, and 4 go on, his damage gets really, really good. And so I do wonder if more things are coming to us that build this up. Like, we don't even know. We all forgot. I even forgot about Fortress Assault. Fortress Assault. I mean, we joked about it. I remember when it came out, it sounded like they were saying Fortress of Salt. And we're like, we're supposed to be hyped about extra sodium in our diets. Like, what is it? There's a whole fortress made of salt. But it's Fortress Assault, and we don't know what that is yet, right? They've even said it's still very much in development. So there's a chance that in Fortress Assault, you guys know I misspeak a lot. I'm not doing it on purpose. In Fortress Assault, that you are going to want champions who are building up, not only in a fight, but then over the course of the quest. We saw Venom the Duck get released also last year. One of my biggest pieces advice to Kabam over multiple years, to the point where I think this is probably one of the things that really irritated them, was because, the people would be like, Battle Greens brain rot. No one likes this champion because they can't kill so-and-so in 40 seconds. And I was like, dude, it's the only effing game mode that people can log in and play every single day and have it be new. That's the only one. That is it. War ends up being the same fights over and over, and most people don't even like war. So once you've cleared story content, once you've done the EQ, what the hell are you supposed to do? You want them to go do arena? And in the arena, you want your fights to go fast. So you can complain and get upset all you want about how, like, your creation is not being appreciated, Michelangelo, or you could be like, hey, we're basically grandma who bought the kid a bunch of Nintendo games, but they don't have a Nintendo system. So accept that and give people a place to use these champions that you're building. They are cool. Deathless She-Hulk is cool. North Star is cool. But asking people to be excited about using them in a game that's not giving them a place to use them, I think is foolish. You wonder why they didn't like me. Do I think the Stellar champs are gonna be champs that aren't 7 stars yet? Oh, that would be an interesting thing. That would be an interesting way to go about it. I don't know. Let's see that. I like that. I hadn't thought of that, man. Straight Up Lions Playbook. I love it. Also, a wicked movie about our Eagles. Yeah, that was a good one. If you haven't seen it, watch. I have. I enjoyed it. I didn't spend a little time outside Philly. I spent like 2 years there. Those are the 2 years I did not live in California. Stink, what's up? You hear I should be talking about you. How did the waxing go yesterday, Stink? You said you had a lot of questions about waxing, and I gave you my advice. I even pointed out a movie for you to watch so you could see what it would be like, some experiential learning before you went in and just did it yourself. You know what I'm saying? You'd be able to get in the mindset of watching 40-Year-Old Virgin and being like, that's what getting waxed feels like. So we all want to know. We all want to know, man. We want to know. Let us know. What's up, Too White? How you doing, man? I believe he said that he might not be for everyone or something like that. Okay, so it sounds like the what's being attributed to DLL here was that he, on multiple occasions, said people might not like Blue Marvel. I'm doing great, in case it's not clear. I'm hyped. I'm pumped to be here. I see all these new follows coming in. We're going to have a great time. I'm pumped up for the stream, dude. This is your first time on my... Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoy it. This is going to... Not what we usually do. Usually I do play the game a little bit, but there is often a lot of talking. What's up, Faith? Yeah, get them drops, man. You got to get them drops. If Gemini is accurate about Blue Marvel, he's another serpent, basically. What? No, why? Why would they do that to us? I don't understand. We're going to love him or hate him, but he won't have power, steal a car. Did you mean serpent like as in a defender? You can't just say that, man. You can't just say that kind of thing. Like that is not, you don't just walk into an MCoC chat and say, this champion's going to be another serpent and expect people to be like, that's cool. Yeah, let's move on. How was your day? What's the weather like where you're at? That's not how that goes. All right. I got to get some headphones plugged in or something. All right. Thanks, Dante. Hey, what's up, Dante? Oh, man, Dante, we all know you're watching from the bathroom, man. You let us know. Dante this morning was like, I'm going to be watching from the crapper. What's up, Elio? Going in to go to... Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate y'all, man. When do we get Alliance bases? No one knows. That's the beauty of the Alliance bases, man. That's the beauty of them. No one knows. All right, I think it's time. It's time to bring... We had a lot of fun playing MCoC today. It was a good time, but it's time to put it away. That is time to put it away. That was the Brazilian Wonder Woman. I read like some of the first run, and I don't know if they have continued. So, what's going on here, man? This should be up. Why is this not up? Don't do this to me. Do not do this to me. We got people here and excited to watch it. All right, there. Cool. We'll keep this page refreshed, and we will be excited to watch them as soon as they are live. And I will shut up too. I'll talk a little bit. We're probably going to type a lot in the chat to kind of get everything going with everybody. Have some fun. The drops. My understanding is the drops will start as soon as the live stream starts. Yeah, we don't need no more serpents, man. We don't need. I don't know if you're aware. He made a big splash in the pool. He made a big splash. There was a lot of ripples that day. They did announce he has an indestructible mechanic. I saw that, man, and I was like, oh god, no. What if his persistent charges are like a safeguard mechanic, where like the longer the fight goes, the worse the safeguard gets, or I could see the safeguards actually going down. Why am I saying these things out loud? Gemini is an AI, and AI hallucinate. Just consider that. Okay. All right. Thank you. I don't know who Gemini is, but thank you. I figured, you know what? We're all adults here, right? I saw the name Gemini, and I was like, that's either got to be like a gaming name or a stripper, basically. So yeah, I apologize if your name actually is Gemini. I just pissed off a couple people. They're like, hey, that was my grandma's name. We got a watch streak from MCoC Gamer. Thank you so much for the watch streak, dude. That's awesome. Hey, you guys let me know right now Is seeing the Twitch chat go by on the live stream, is that going to be annoying? Should we get rid of that? Let me know. I will scroll to the bottom. Next up on the main stage, everyone, round of applause, Gemini. Spiderpool, you know what I'm talking about? Yes, please. Okay. All right, let's get rid of the chat. It's annoying me too, to be honest. Bye, chat. It was nice. We enjoyed our time with you, though. We really did. It was good stuff. And I wanted to show off how many people are watching them, but I think it'll provide too small of a screen. All right, it's quiet time. Why can't I hear?
Champions live stream. I'm your host, Kabam.
Let me know how the volume is, guys.
And we've got an exciting stream locked and loaded, waiting for you. We're going to start previewing that launch pool of 7-star Ascension and reveal the winner of Summoner's Choice 2026. I can't wait to find out how far Phantasma went. You what? Round 2?
Let me know if that's good, or do you guys one volume? I'll try my best to do it for everyone. And also, would you guys want my screen removed? I don't need to be on screen.
Another official Marvel Contest of Champions live stream. I'm here live at the studio in Vancouver, and I am so excited to be here hanging out with you. We have so much to go over today, including your winner of Summoner's Choice 2026. It's top secret. We'll be getting to this bad boy later on in the stream, revealing the winner. I am very excited. I love Summoner's Choice. We've had a lot of fantastic champions. It's been a fantastic Summoner's Choice season, and I can't wait to reveal the winner. I am your host, Karate Mike, aka Kabamasaurus Rex. Either one is fine with me. I view all of you as my friends. I love having so many people in the chat because that means I have over 15,000 friends. That's absolutely incredible. Thank you so much for joining us here on our official live stream. If you are new to Marvel Contest of Champions, I do recommend you give it a download and play along with us. It is a very, very fun time. We got a lot to talk about today. We have a little bit of a preview of the launch pool of Ascension, 7-star Ascension to be specific. I know that people are very excited about that one, so I can't wait to talk about that. And we got a lot of other fun surprises.
Is that now too loud, guys?
Before we get into
because I've made a couple adjustments after you guys hadn't read that it was better already.
Official live stream. Finn, what's that rule? Put it up on the screen. All you gotta do is just be nice. I'll be nice to you. You be nice to me. We'll all have a really nice time together. All right. We do have some announcements today. Quick and easy ones. Let's get that slideshow up on the screen. Finn. All right. So that Tooth and Claw saga is continuing. This isn't the January 6th live stream. This is the January 30th live stream. Hey, if there's one mistake in this live stream, I'll take that one. All right. So our January events, of course, are going to be ending soon. Can we get that back up there, buddy? There we go. Concert of Champions is ongoing, and the Summoner's Choice winner will be announced today, and more Ascension details are coming soon. This stream, we have a very special guest to come here and talk about that Ascension launch pool. I'm very, very excited, but enough with the intros, enough with the announcements, enough with the rules. Let's get into the show today, shall we? Now, before we do that, though, I do need you to go into your Twitch settings and turn on those Twitch drops because, as always, we do have some Twitch drops for you, and you definitely want to get those because there's some nice rewards in there, and those are only going to get better as time goes on. Working out those details, a little bit more info soon. So make sure you get in there and connect your account. And of course, you all know we got those giveaways as well. So head on over to playcontestofchampions.com/stream giveaway for your chance to win one of 5 Titan crystals or one of 5 champion selectors for the February month. That is going to be either M'Baku or Blue Marvel. All right. So we are in the Tooth and Claw saga. We are 1 month in, going into our 2nd month of Tooth and Claw. That's pretty exciting. Yeah, we're good. We're good, man. We're good. So we're going to just checking out the technical difficulties here. We're good. No worries watching at home. So we're going into the Tooth and Claw, the 2nd month of the saga here. Let's have a little bit of a review of the story so far. So have you been roaring into the Savage Lands in the 1st month of Tooth and Claw? Well, For month 2, Central Park has been transformed into a dense ISO and vibranium-enhanced woodlands full of riches, wonders, and of course, foes. But thankfully, the Jabari ambassador M'Baku and keen scientific mind Blue Marvel are here on the scene to take care of everything going on. What powers will be unleashed upon the contest and its champions as this ISO-fueled adventure unfolds? I'm excited to find out. Make sure you're headed to the event quest this month so you don't miss one moment of this breathtaking story by our very own Kabam Vincent. So, speaking of the Saga overview, of course, as you all know, we have our new Saga Chase champion, we have the themed double track champion, those Saga themed raids, we had the Saga sale, we had the meta events going on. Fractured Safari was so much fun. If you haven't done it yet, by the way, jump in. It is an absolute blast. Glitch incursions are ongoing. The Dimensional Arcade's going on soon. And then we have some other stuff coming up over the next 2 months as well. As always, our Alliance War Encounter Showcase. That's not this month. It's going to be the following month. Same thing with the Saga Incursions, but Saga-themed AQ event. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. Of course, that's Saga Chase. You all know we have Toad, right? But in case you didn't know, you can get 7-star Toad by just completing your daily super event. If you get 80 of these slime tokens, you can trade that in for a 7-star Toad. But if you're not at a high enough progression yet, you can get a 6-star Toad for the same thing. And Toad just recently got buffed last month, and he's feeling pretty good. So if you're a progressing player, making your way through the story still, do your daily super event, log in every day, progress your account, and then get that shiny Toad to go into your 6-star roster. All right, speaking of those events that are ending soon, Glitch Incursions, you got a few days left. Jump on in there to get that final piece of Stellar Forge Star-Lord, who is available right now. We also have the Fractured Safari. This one is seriously so much fun. So you go in and Saga champions are going to have a Fractured power bar, just like the Idol champions. So going with any Saga champion, and it's very, very fun. I've been using Craven personally. That's why he's up there. Really, really fun champion with the Fractured power bar. And of course, going alongside that, we also have the Rhino Realm event. Have you gotten your first appearance 7-star Rhino? Get in there and get him if you have not. Of course, you have to do the Fractured Safari and the Glitched Incursion objectives. That way you can get him. This is going to be the only time to get first appearance 7-star Rhino. So do not miss it, and then swipe right and left all the time as you play with your Rhino. We do have the Concert of Champions, the second version of Dimensional Arcade as well. This one has been a little bit contentious, obviously we know this. Now here's the thing with Dimensional Arcade, folks, right? Ultimately, at the end of the day, Dimensional Arcade is not something that's super geared towards our core endgame players, right? So it's not super surprising to me that most players on the forums and in community spaces aren't loving this one too much, right? This is more so for our casual players who aren't even really watching the stream, who aren't super engaged in the game right now. All that being said, we also had some issues with the launch of this as well. We're working on a new build right now. We have something that's going to be working on all devices. We're in playtest right now, and we're looking to get that out to you super duper soon, along with some compensation for the missed downtime as well. So unfortunately, we're not really happy with how this one went out, but we feel like we got a nice fix, and we're going to push this one out as soon as we possibly can. All right, man. Moving on, of course, one more quick recap before we move on to new content as well. Thor Ragnarok did win that rework vote at the Summoners Fest. That's the name of that fun event. At Summoners Fest, we had Thor Ragnarok win the champion rework tune-up vote. So this is coming pretty soon. Work is happening on this champion right now, and I just found something out pretty fun about Thor Ragnarok. It turns out he's also going to get a little bit of a facelift as well. So no new animations. He just still have the same animations that Thor Ragnarok has always had, but he is also going to have a little bit of a paint over as well. So he might look a little bit better, which is pretty cool. And of course, he's going to be the exclusive 7-star champion for Twitch drops. We've been meeting with the Econ team and the Live Ops team over the past few weeks, ironing out this plan, making sure it's going to be solid for you guys. So Twitch drops are going to get just a lot juicier over the next coming months. We pretty much have those plans finalized right now. We know when that end goal is going to be, and the tokens are going to be tuned so that you can get him when he does launch, when his buff launches. So we're very excited about that. Finalizing plans putting in the final locks right now, and the full details will be available next month. When it comes to Twitch drops, the Twitch drops for this stream are going to be open to all creators streaming Marvel Contest of Champions on Twitch for this month, and this track in particular is going to be open until next Friday, so about 7 days or so, and there may be some additional Twitch drops opening this month as well. Watch out for announcements for when that's going to happen. Okay, now it's time to start talking about some new stuff here. So, coming in February, coming on Wednesday with the upcoming event quest, there's going to be a little bit of a change to Elder difficulty here. So, the Crucible style swapping with all the choice nodes and everything, that's going away right now. Now, is it going to be gone forever? You could say, right? We're probably going to end up in a place where we try out a bunch of different formats. But the elimination nodes, they're going to be taking a break from the Elder difficulty in February. It's going to be a very similar map, but with a team and no swapping. So those synergies are going to be coming back. Some more places to use those fun synergies. We've definitely heard the feedback that the Crucible style gameplay is starting to get a little bit old. We feel like it's kind of taken away from the special nature of Crucible in itself. On top of that, work in progress, currently in development though now that we've got some other features out the door, we got some people on this. We're looking to have Elder difficulty unlocked immediately for Valiant players. We've been talking about that for a bit. And also lower difficulty toggle for all players as well. This is right on pace for V2 of our adaptive EQ. We're definitely taking this very seriously. We have people in there working on this right now. We're hoping to have this out to you very, very soon. And I will give you a timeline as soon as I have a timeline for those changes. But this coming Wednesday, we get to Elder difficulty, probably going to be a little bit faster because those choice nodes are going away. All right, speaking about stuff that's coming on Wednesday as well, this is not on Wednesday, actually, so I don't even know why I said that. But on February 4th, the Alliance Coliseum is going to be making a return for February, featuring this guy right here as the boss. That is Arcade. So with that, the Alliance Coliseum is also going to have some adjustments as well. So the prompt timer, the timer that comes after 5 health bars, that's now going to be paused during heavy attacks and for a short period after. So for example, Shocker is not going to just fall asleep when he's charging his heavy attack anymore. That's a nice little change right there. On top of that, we kind of noticed in the first 2 iterations that the tag champions are not really being as impactful as we want them to be. So tag champions are now going to earn more points towards the point total than before. We're also going to be adding a new top milestone in the solo events, and we're going to be rebalancing the lower milestones as a whole and creating progression-based selectors in there as well. So Alliance Coliseum, Solo Coliseum have been very rewarding piece of content. That is absolutely not changing. We're going to be digging into that even further. And yeah, keep an eye out for that coming next week. Speaking of the Coliseum, the Solo Coliseum is opening its doors to the 3rd fight on Wednesday, February 4th. Maybe that is a Wednesday. Is that a Wednesday? I don't even know anymore. But the final 2 fights are happening in February. It looks like I had it right there. How about that? So we have 2 more fights in the first round of the Solo Coliseum. Make sure you get in there, get your 80 points per boss. A reminder, you can still fight Havoc. You can still fight Void after these champions are unlocked. There are some juicy rewards in the Solo Coliseum, like that full Tier 5 Alpha, 1.5 Tier 5 Alpha, really. Titan Nexus Crystal, Tier 7 Basics. There's some really solid rewards in there, so you're not going to want to miss it. Up next, we have something that I'm very excited about as well. We've been talking about this AQ meta event. Well, we have the AQ Rampant Evolution, which is actually going to be a new AQ format. This is launching in the latter end of February, and it's going to be a new format that's geared to highlight ramp-up champions. So it's going to have identical lanes across multiple paths. So officers and alliances are not going to have to break their backs planning out 9 new lanes. Don't worry about that, okay? But there's also going to be boosts to supercharge your ramp champions. Now, we already have a forum post on the forums and on web that pretty much goes over this entire feature. We wanted to get this out super early. That way players can start planning for this new piece of content. But I'll give you a little bit of an example of what like some of these boosts look like to supercharge your champions. So for Strife, for example, this guy right here, there's a boost specific to him where he starts with 25 of his persistent charges, and then his Sig ability is essentially doubled across the entire thing. So he's going to ramp super duper fast. Which is really, really cool, man. So the goal of this event here is to alternate into the AQ rotation to keep it even more fresh than it has been lately, right? So we have regular AQ, we have AQ Rampant Evolution, we have Raids, we have Alliance Coliseum, and we want all these things to cycle in different ways to keep AQ feeling fresh and keep the experience fun. So it's not stale and the same thing over and over and over. One really cool thing about this version is that very similar to Raids, there's one map you go in one time for the week and you have a good time. All right, so that's launching the later half of February. Keep an eye out for it, and if you want all the details, go check out the forums and give it a look. Another very important announcement here. We are introducing today Essentia. That's right. So Essentia is launching in March. This is that currency consolidation that we have been talking about for quite a while now. It's been about, give or take, 11 or 12 months, almost a full year since Kabam crashed, was here sitting with me, and we were talking about Radiance. And we were saying if Radiance does a good job, if it does what we want it to do, well, we're going to look to do the exact same thing with engagement-based currency. So let's have a quick little chat about the difference between engagement-based currency and competitive-based currency. Let's take Battlegrounds for an example here. You go through Battlegrounds, you do your engagement, you get your trophy tokens, right? Everyone gets the trophy tokens. That just by playing the mode, that's essentially how it happens. That's some engagement-based currency that you get from engaging in the mode. Now, when it comes to ranked rewards, for you are competing in the gladiator circuit, that competitive currency is Radiance. You get Radiance from the competition. So we view these two different resources as two different ways to tune rewards, essentially, right? And we have so many different engagement-based currencies that it gets a little bit overwhelming all across the entire game, especially for newer players coming in for the first time, right? You got the trophy tokens, you got the artifacts, you got the glory. What do they all do? Why are there so many? There's the same stuff all over the place. Can't we make this easier? Well, yes, we can, and yes, we're going to. So Essentia will be launching. We're targeting March right now. We have it all nice and tuned up, and now we're implementing it as well. Let's get the slide back up here as well. So at launch, it's going to be Glory, Battlegrounds tokens, and artifacts, combining those into Essentia. We're hoping to have more consistency with updates, more similar to like the Radiant store. This is actively in development, and look out for a dev diary going over all of this, the intention behind it, what it's going to do in the next few weeks. This is get pushed back from like, early February to March. So I did say the dev diary was coming last month, but some other things shifted around. I wanted the dev diary to be closer to the launch of the feature. But the guy who's been working on this has been working on this super hard since like September or October. I've been talking to him about this for a very, very long time. The feature's looking pretty good. I'm pretty confident you guys are going to like it. I'm really excited to roll this one out. Talking about surprises, I bet no one had this one on their bingo card for today. We're doing a little bit of a prestige retune as well, just juicing some things up, but not all champions. This is just the very bottom 80 or so, 79 lowest champions. They're getting a nice little prestige boost here, kind of to dig more into like P30 here, right? Rewarding wider roster growth. So what did we say when we were doing prestige 30, right? We really want to just reward like, hey, maybe you don't just rank the top 5 champions anymore. Build up your roster. Build up the champions that you want to build up, right? So for example, Scarlet Witch. This is an extreme example, but her prestige was so bad. This is 6-star rank 5 stats, but we're going to use that here. 13,510. That's jumping up about 3,500 points, right? More in like the realistic realm here. Juggernaut's jumping up around 900, and on the lower end, Ford's going up like 300 too, right? So the lower 79 champions will be getting a nice boost. All that being said, top champions will remain the top prestige champions. Pretty much the top like 200 or so, right? So if you invested in prestige champions, those aren't losing any value. So all in all, this is just going to give a lot more value to a lot of other champions in the game as well. So we're pretty excited about this. Keep in mind, since we are retuning the prestige values right here, some PI of champions might look a little bit different next month. We'll have to see. I'll have to see what happens there, but that's pretty exciting. We're excited about that one. All right, moving on to some side quests next month. Next month, the side quest, Marvel Contest of Champions, is going to be a return of Squad Builder. Oh, Finn, that transition was beautiful, dude. Look at that. Right when I snapped, he turned it over. We got a professional over here. All right, February 11th, Squad Builder returns. This is going to be similar to the Fantastic Force recruitment event, except this one's going to be themed around the Lunar New Year event this year. And we're celebrating the Year of the Horse. So I got Beta Ray Bill right there. How about that? So red envelopes will be returning to the contest, of course, containing the usual goodies and a chance for first appearance 7-star gold pool. This is fun. I'm definitely very excited for this event to come back. It's going to be very similar to the first one, but a little bit more engaging. There's going to be some like small little gameplay prompts to complete as you're going through. That being said, you could completely ignore them as well, and you will be just fine, just like you could in the first round of this. This is not meant to be difficult. It's not meant to be challenging. It's meant to be an engagement-based side quest, little meta event for February, which is fun. You know, we had a good time with this one the first time. We have a little bit of an update here, and we're looking to take this even further in the future. So we're pretty excited about this. We're pretty excited about this one coming back. So there are 2 events, just like the first time here. How does it work? So you play with energy for points in the solo event, and then you claim rewards and tokens from that event, and you gain other tokens and you earn some rewards. Now, I want to say right now, there's no conspiracy here. I did not get to name this token, but there are Broncos tokens in the game. And for the first time ever, from my actual job here at Kabam, I can sit here and say, go Broncos. We love the Broncos. All the way. Go Knicks, get better. All right, so let's get the slide back up here though. Use Bronco tokens and you can earn 3 times the points here. Those are also giftable to your alliance mates, and there's going to be additional Bronco tokens for units and in offers. And you claimed ranked rewards from the weekly solo event to earn points in the Alliance Stampede event. Now, Alliance ranked rewards. Kind of like I just kind of said this, but points gained from ranked rewards in the solo event, similar system to Fantastic Force. Rewards will be geared toward the Alliance event instead of solo this time. So the top placing alliances will be getting a featured champion this time. And that champion is going to be 7-star Heimdall, who's going to be enabled for the first time. So featured champion rewards, the top 7 alliances will receive a 7-star Heimdall, and the number 1 ranked alliance will receive first appearance Heimdall. Of course, this is going to be the first and only time where a first appearance Heimdall will exist. So pretty cool stuff that there's only going to be 30 first appearance Heimdalls out there, which is really, really cool. So there's also some solid rewards there as well. So if you play the game and play the side quest, you know, and your alliance does it together, you have a chance for Heimdall. And that's really, really cool. Finn, play that video that I gave you, by the way.
Heimdall's back and has never seen more action. This buff is all about taking what Heimdall did and giving it a modern twist. First of all, he now has 60% resistance to poison and incinerate effects. And when suffering from one of these from a champion's ability, all of his personal buffs and passives are paused. Speaking of, those buffs have 300% ability accuracy now. And he gains a power gain whenever he gains a personal buff, aside from this one. Now, when Heimdall or his opponent strikes or hits block, he gains 10 veneer charges. At 100, his next action consumes them to grant a fury with a medium, precision with a light, or an armor with a hit. Charging a heavy converts one of these buffs into an indefinite copy. You can stack 5 of these each. However, his special 3 converts all personal buffs into passives with 25% increased potency. These max out at 50, so you can really keep the party going in those longer fights. Here's the fun part. When he converts a buff with a heavy, he gains an indefinite crossfight, up to 10 new ones per fight, allowing him to start the next ones already ramped. Once you've built up a nice stack of buffs and passives, his resonance buff on his special 2 starts to really make an impact. Now, I know what you're thinking, and yes, he's still the guardian of the Rainbow Bridge. But now, with his new SIG ability, he no longer has to feel left out. Heimdall's got some other new tricks up his sleeves. Stay tuned to find out what else he can do. Have you updated yet? Well, you should. Heimdall's rework is unleashed in the February update.
Semicolon says, wow, this seems nice. And we're going to leave it at that. All right, so Heimdall, his buff is launching on Monday. So let's talk about some key updates here for the champion. I feel like the video kind of laid it all out. It was a bit of a longer one for a buff video. But his damage potential is pretty much just increased by a lot, right? Heimdall's been that kind of champion where he's always been like a classic cosmic champion that gets a lot of buffs, does a lot of things, has a decent amount of utility actually, but his damage just like isn't worth using compared to other champions in the cosmic pool, right? So that's definitely going to be changing. He's also gaining a lot more utility as well. So big damage increase. We also get 5 permanent fury and precision buffs and armor buffs as well. And those can be converted to passives on special 3. Once you convert those buffs to passives, you can then gain more permanent buffs and convert those to passives. So for content like Colosseum, for example, he can ramp really, really high. For content like Incursions, he can ramp really, really high across that quest as he goes along. He gains those cross fights. He has Unstoppable and Stun immunity on his special 1, Resonance and Unblockable buffs on his special 2. He's got a nice new resistance to Poison and Incinerate at a pretty decent potency, honestly. Where if you run him with like the Recoil Masteries, for example, he doesn't really have to spam too many specials. He should be pretty good with that. And he also gains Indestructible and Fate Seal immunity from his SIG ability too. So Heimdall's getting a pretty darn nice update here. And yes, his Heimdall synergy is remaining the same. But oh my goodness gracious, this Heimdall buff looks really, really good. And he's only available to 200 players in Squad Builder. Don't worry, because he's also is coming to the Titan pool in the upcoming rotation in March, I believe that is. It's in like 45 days or so, something like that. But he will be in the next Titan pool rotation. But the 7-star will be exclusive to Squad Builder first for 210 players only, which is pretty fun and pretty cool. And of course, those 30 first appearance Heimdalls will be very, very, very exclusive, which is really, really fun. All right. Champions are fun. I love talking about champions. Now, another champion went live last month, and that was one Kitty Pryde. So Kitty Pryde is in the double track for this saga. This is going until the end of March, pretty much the end of this saga. And Kitty Pryde as a 7-star feels really, really nice. I got mine, and she's very, very fun to use. Love pairing her with Tigra. The squad is back together. It's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, Kitty Pryde has been available for trade-in for a bit now. That's going to be going on for a bit longer, and her crystals and arena will be going live still in March. Alrighty now. So we talked about champions that already exist in-game. Heimdall's existed for a while. If you have a 6-star Heimdall, a 5-star Heimdall, a 4-star Heimdall, that Heimdall is going to be buffed this coming Monday when the patch drops. But there is another champion who's going live next week as well, and that is M'Baku. Look at that. M'Baku is coming to Marvel Contest of Champions. Let's take a little bit of a look at that deep dive.
To begin, strike the opponent with a heavy attack, and after knocking them down, stand strong and idle to gain your Fury passive. Now, your dash attacks will be unstoppable. From here, make sure to maximize the amount of time striking the opponent while unstoppable, as this builds up your damage counter for your special 2. After reaching 20 combo, your unstoppable is paused during your special 1. Allowing you to ramp up that damage counter as efficiently as possible. Once you have enough damage stored, go for that special 2, and watch those large bursts of direct damage as you show your opponent the power of the Jabari. Now, keep in mind, M'Baku gains that true accuracy passive for every 10 hits in his combo meter, and it's paused during the opponent's specials. So, if you stay aggressive, you can keep that passive up almost indefinitely, stopping those pesky champions who like to evade and auto-block in their tracks.
All right, so that was MCoC, finally coming to the game, skill champion, and that's very, very exciting. So let's talk a little bit about what MCoC is bringing to the table here. So MCoC is launching on February 5th in pre-release bundles, and for Crystals and Arena, February 12th. He has 100% resistance to Cold Snap, and he is immune to Frostbite. He's got some reliable true accuracy passives that are live all the time, pretty much, if you're playing him properly. It's got that nice inflated combo meter for some of those science shenanigans. Big Fury after the heavy attack, unstoppable dashes when that Fury is active, some bleed debuffs as well. They can also purify non-damaging debuffs with the big burst payoff on that special too. So I'm thinking, instead of talking about it, how about we have a little bit of live gameplay here, Finn? So here we go. We're starting out here. We have Spider-Woman. We good? We got it? There we go. So I already did the heavy attack, but I'll do it again to gain the Fury. Now I'm going to gain that Unstoppable. Right? Once I get to 10, I'm going to have that true accuracy. I'm going to push her up to a special 2. I'm going to go for the special 1, purify some of those non-damaging debuffs, bait out the special 2 here, and we always want to be attacking while we are unstoppable. So if you're playing MCoC properly, he's pretty much always going to have his Unstoppable, and he's also pretty much always going to have his true accuracy. So he's very, very solid for champions like MCoC, for example. I really like him for MCoC. I believe we showed him in the deep dive, though, so I'm not going to fight him here, or any evaders as well. Very nice utility. If you mess up here, that Unstoppable is a really nice safety net. Then we're going to go for the special 2, and this should just about finish her off with all these bursts. Not too bad, yeah. So a nice solid Spider-Woman takedown right there. Go for the heavy attack, get your 10 combo, get your true accuracy, then you're pretty much always unstoppable. You always have that counter up going for you, and you're going to have a pretty solid time against those champions who evade, against those champions who place a lot of debuffs on you, against those champions who auto-block you. You're going to rip right through with that true accuracy. So MCoC is coming to Marvel Contest of Champions next week, which is very, very exciting, but he's also not the only champion that's coming to Marvel Contest of Champions. We also have Blue Marvel joining the contest as well. Let's take a little look at him.
To begin, land a heavy attack to begin inflicting your overload debuffs. Continue to build power while maxing out your overload, and once ready, launch your special 1 to refresh them on the final hit of the attack. From here, you can land another heavy attack and tap block while performing the final hit to pause your overload for 10 seconds. Continue building power by using your light attacks to inflict your weakness debuffs to continue gaining charges. Then, use another special 1. By now, you'll be close to entering stable release. And once in stable release, launch your special 2. And make sure to tap block while Blue Marvel slows down the fight to gain those precision passives. If your opponent isn't already knocked out, just continue this process until they are. Now, remember, Blue Marvel ramps up throughout the fight and through a quest, so the larger his runway is, the stronger he becomes, making each additional fight easier and easier. And hey, if you're going up against a very large health pool, you can use Blue Marvel's Special 3 to inflict those passive overloads, stacking up to 3 times, and causing those red bursts of damage to send waves through the battle realm.
All right, that was Blue Marvel. Now, Blue Marvel is the second champion joining Marvel Contest of Champions in February. Really exciting stuff. So let's take a look at what Blue Marvel can do here. So, he is immune to bleed and power steal. His attacks deal energy damage and don't make contact with non-skilled champions. His heavy attack inflicts overload up to 3 times. Now, he can pretty much keep those up almost indefinitely if you play him properly. The special 1 refreshes them, as does the final hit of his heavy attack if you tap block at the right time. He inflicts weakness debuffs on light attacks, and he builds up antimatter charges to enter stable release mode. While he's in there, he can counter miss while that's active. He also gains indestructible from non-hit direct damage from champions from his SIG ability, and he has provoke and wither on his special 1, gains precisions on his special 2, and some regen on his special 3 with indefinite overloads from those as well. So if you're going to be using Blue Marvel in a longer fight like Coliseum or whatnot, you might want to go for some special 3s as well. That way you can get some extra burst damage going. So that's all well and good to talk about and have a fun time, but how about we have a little bit of a showcase here? I'm choosing a bit of a harder defender here. I'm doing 2 tough defenders today. I'm just making my life just that much harder. We're going up against, once it loads, Kindred. No, I know. I got it. Yeah, all right. Here we go. So we're going for our heavy attacks right here. And you're going to tap block right there. Nice. Now you don't want to get hit. That's the last time I'm going to show you what it looks like when you get hit, okay? So keep that in mind here. We're going to go for the special one here. That is going to apply the wither and also our provoke. We're going to go for another special one, place some more debuffs. As you can see, we are building up our charges here. Bait out the special one. Going to counter it properly that time, making our way up to our special 2. And once we get there after 2 special 1s, we should have just enough charges to get to stable release. And look at this. A little bit of passive degen is no problem for us here because we have our SIG ability, but oh man, now it's locking in there. I told you I was picking a harder fight here. That's all right. Kindred's a tough one. Gonna go for the special 2 now here. This is pretty much gonna end it off. But I'm rooted. All right, not the best fight by me on this one, but if I played that properly, you could see that he's pretty good for Kindred. So ultimately what you want to do is you don't want to get hit and you want to manage his charges properly. So when you get into the root at the end, when the degen procs for the first time, that is going to trigger the indestructible, which is pretty cool. When you get hit, things go bad, so don't get hit. I'm a little washed, guys. What can I say? All right, but that is Blue Marvel. He's coming to the game on February 17th in the pre-release bundles and in crystals and arenas on February 26th. He is the 2nd champion joining the game this month, which is really, really exciting, and he looks absolutely incredible too. So let's take a look at that. There we go. Look at that beautiful, beautiful wallpaper of Blue Marvel. So Blue Marvel and MCoC are joining the contest, and we're very, very excited about that. Now, a reminder, if you want a chance to win one of these 2 champions next week, you have to go to playcontestofchampions.com/stream giveaway. And if you do win and you do obtain a Blue Marvel, I have full faith that you will be able to fight Kindred that much better than I did. All right. So, moving on, today we have another little surprise. Put it up. Look at that. First time we're showing this off here. We've been talking about this champion getting reworked for quite a while now. How about that art of Magic with a fresh new model? Magic isn't coming next month. However, she is coming in March. So Magic, that rework is live in March. Finally, I know we've been talking about this for a very, very long time, but the chase for 7-star Magic starts soon. The way it works is there's going to be limbo tokens that you can trade in for 7-star Magic. How do you acquire those? Well, we talked about this like a year ago. You guys don't remember this? Come on, guys. Come on. Work with me here a little bit here. So the primary avenue of the limbo tokens are going to be through Radiance. If you don't engage with Radiance in any way, there are going to be additional tokens available through offers and events. The launch event will feature some free tokens as well, and we're going to have more details and a full kit reveal next stream, all about Magic. Very, very excited for that. That's a really, really fun time. So lots of champion stuff going on, man. Lots of champion. It's Summer's Choice time. We got the winner down here. Super excited to reveal that. We got the Heimdall buff. We got the Magic rework that's happening. MCoC Blue Marvel, the Toad Chase is happening, the Kitty Pryde double track is happening right now. Lots of stuff going on with a lot of really, really fun champions. Are there more champions? I can't even believe it. Maybe there is going to be more champions. But we got to talk about Love is a Battle Realm because I have so much love for all of you sitting here watching this stream with me and hanging out. That just love is, it just feels like a battle realm, and Love is a battle realm. And on February 13th, we are going to be having the Love is a Battle Realm event. What is this? Well, we do this pretty much every year, right? It's going to be romance items available for units and cash, spreading the love around. We're going to have a 7-star Heart's Desire box with lower priced box champions, both for cash and for units. Pretty much when it comes to that, I'm not going to throw out exact numbers here, but essentially there's going to be a bit of a couple of keys, let's say that. A couple of keys with the couple crystals as well, and like the Odin, for example. So there's going to be 2 keys in there as opposed to 1. There's also 1 free key on the web store, so make sure you log in, grab that free key, and if you're going about it in the unit way as well, those are going to be significantly cheaper than the other keys in the past as well. There will be the web store milestone track, of course, with front-loaded milestones and first appearance selectors specifically on the web store. You can get all 6 champions in this box through the web store milestone track if you so choose, and there will be a giveaway from the CCP as well. Alongside this sale happening, we are finally going to make a hashtag Valentine's tag in game. So it's going to be very clear and obvious which champions are usable with those romance items. So we finally have a tag for that. We're also trying out something as well. We're going to be placing a boost for Solo Coliseum in the rewards as well, or in the offers as well. So very similar to like the gray boosts for Alliance War, but for Solo Coliseum. So keep an eye out on that. Pretty cool stuff. We're finalizing that right now. But yeah, which champions are going to be in the Heart's Desire box this year? I'm not even sure. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Well, we do have Black Widow Clairvoyant. Black Widow Clairvoyant is going to be headlining right here. Let's get the picture up there, Finn. Look at this. There we go. Look at that. Black Widow Clairvoyant is also going to be joined by Tech Star-Lord and Karnak as first appearances as 7 stars. So Black Widow Clairvoyant obviously has been, requested for a very, very long time. I have to give a shout out to my alliance mate, Mr. Vacuum, who's been begging me for Black Widow Clairvoyant for years at this point. There you go, buddy. There's Black Widow Clairvoyant. We also have Star-Lord, who I can really see making a big resurgence with Coliseum being so important right now. And Karnak, by the way, is a very underrated champion who's really showing his stuff as a 6-star in the Invade meta right now for Battlegrounds. Plus, he's pretty solid in longer fights too. So I can see 7-star Karnak making a bit of an impact in Coliseum-style gameplay as well. And there's also Phoenix, Mr. Fantastic, and Captain Britain. Those are the 6 champions in the Heart's Desire box. On top of the Heart's Desire box, we also have those couples crystals as well, but this year we're doing something a little bit different with them. They're going to be Nexus couple crystals. So you can open up the crystal and you can pick 2 champions as opposed to like just getting the 2 in the crystal, which is pretty cool. So it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be a fun time. All right. So I do actually have a clip of Star-Lord here, which I think is just absolutely hilarious. That is all the way up at 400 combo. So Finn, let's play that clip here of Star-Lord. So this is 400 combo, completely ramped up. Of course, this takes a solid couple of minutes to get up there, right? We're throwing 120k light attacks. Watch this. Watch this. Boom, boom. Over 1 million on the special too. That is just absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous stuff, man. So one thing about Star-Lord is that there is also a boost for him in that AQ Rampant Evolution meta quest as well, which is going to be really fun. I believe it gives like 2 hits on each combo instead of 1, so it cuts his ramp in half. And he obviously does not need to ramp all the way to 400 because that damage is just so silly. But yeah, so a really fun time. Black Widow Clairvoyant, Star-Lord, and Karnak are coming to the 7-star roster for the first time, which is really, really cool. So man, we've been talking about champions a lot today, so I'm feeling like we might want to take a break from champions, but at the same time, I think we should just talk about more champions because we got a lot of Ascension stuff to go over as well. So let's get that slideshow up here real quick. We haven't talked about 7-star Ascension on stream for a bit now. This was a feature, obviously, that we announced at Summoners Fest back in November. this is launching soon. The team has been just plowing away at this feature ever since before Summoners Fest even. And let's have a little bit of a recap here for what 7-Star Ascension is, in case you haven't been reading the dev diaries, or if you're new to Marvel Contest of Champions over the past 3 months, or if you just kind of forgot. So, Ascension is not a new feature to Marvel Contest of Champions, but 7-Star Ascension is. 6-Star Ascension launched maybe 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, maybe a little bit less, maybe like 3 years ago. But the way that worked was it pretty much increased your attack and your health. That was it. You had 1 rank and that was it. This is a little bit different. 7-Star Ascension is going to go up to 11 ranks, with 2 of them being live at launch, and it's also going to increase your challenge rating and your prestige. On top of all of that, there's also going to be a new gameplay mechanic as well called Might and ISO Burst. So there's going to be more details. Well, all the details are pretty much out on that, but more visual features on Might and ISO Burst and all of that kind of stuff, probably in the next stream. But what we're talking about today is a preview of the launch pool. Now, if you did not know this, all brand new champions released in standard fashion will be ascendable at their launch date. For example, let's say Ascension was out today. It's not, but let's say it was. And then you go for M'Baku in the Valiant Crystals, and you either get him from your Grace Timer, or you get really lucky and you get a first appearance M'Baku. Well, you would also get a 7-star ascended version of M'Baku as well. Now, the really fun thing is that every standard release from November is also going to be getting an Ascension in the mail when Ascension launches, or around the time that it launches, through retroactive rewards. So, what are retroactive rewards? Well, technically, that's already launched, and it's making your current rewards just that much more valuable. Specifically regarding Ascension, any 7-star that you require through the standard methods, we're going to be sending you the Ascension materials when Ascension is live in-game. So, for example, Doctor Strange, right? He came out last month. If you have a 7-star Doctor Strange from his pre-release bundles or from his crystals, well, you're going to be getting an Ascended 7-star Doctor Strange, which is pretty cool. On top of that, specifically regarding Ascension, duping 7 stars now grants a new crystal shard. And yes, those are actually called super duper Ascension shards. Now, Max Sig Titan dupes also grant additional super duper Ascension shards. So if you have a Sig 200 Titan champion that you get from the Titan crystal, you're going to be getting extra rewards from that. Once Ascension is live in game, we are going to be sending out a very large package to all players who duped champions from pretty much November, when this feature was live, up until the launch date, of super duper Ascension shards. From that point, we're going to be doing a data pull for all the Max Sig Titans. About a month later, a lot of players are going to be getting an extra bonus of the extra shards from the Max Sig Titan crystals. Should be a significantly smaller package than the first one, than the first big one that goes out. But what do these shards grant you? Well, it grants you an Ascended champion from a pool consisting of 6 champs, and this utilizes the box system. So all 6 are guaranteed to be Ascended after 6 pulls, and this will be the only place to get these champion Ascensions. Now, I know a lot about Ascension, a lot about 7-star Ascension, a lot about the super duper pool, a lot about the launch pool, but I don't know everything. And there are people who know more than me, so I had to call in a little bit of a reinforcement now. We flew him in all the way from Texas. We have Kabam Neuro in the house, joining me to talk a little bit about the champions who will be featured in Ascension at launch. Dude, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thank you so much, Mike. I'm thrilled to be here. Ascension as a feature has been a long time coming. We put a lot of work in, so I'm excited to talk to everybody today about it.
I can't wait to talk about it, man. Now, you guys might recognize Kabam Neuro from Summoners Fest. Really funny, quick story about that. I love this story. You know, he did such a fantastic job with commentating on Battleground Brawl. And in fact, he was one of the first people that I went to when I was, you know, setting up the commentating and the run of show and all that kind of stuff. You know, I've seen Kabam Neuro give presentations to smaller groups in the past, and I went up to him and I said, I think you did a phenomenal job, you know, and I was really impressed by what he's done. So he was one of the first people I went to when it came to commentating, and he very graciously and very politely declined. And I said, okay, that's disappointing, but that's fine. Somewhere along the lines, wires got crossed. Other people were putting a schedule together. They put his name on it. And then I found out that you were doing it from there. And I went to him. I was like, hey, man, I want you to know. I promise. I took your feedback. I didn't put you on there. But it turns out he got a little excited about the thought. The nerves went away. And I think that it was all for the best because you did a fantastic job.
Yeah, thank you so much. As you said, that weekend was a blast. Shout out to Hit Hack and Tilapia, who put on a wonderful performance that I got to talk through. So it was great.
Absolutely, man. So, but you're here for Ascension today, right? So before we get into that, do you want to quickly tell the people at home what you do at Kabam?
Yeah, sure. I do a little bit of everything across all of our different areas of content. So primarily balance focused. Some of the champions that go through either pre-release tuning or get tune-ups in various contexts I've worked on. I also build our showcase content. So if you like that quest, cool. If you don't, also cool. Work on various quests of various types.
Awesome stuff, man. So speaking of balancing stuff, right? We kind of had to balance the super duper pool a little bit, right? So talk me through like the super duper pool here, how we went about picking these champions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, so our goal was for this to feel really satisfying, really fun, and also account for the fact that various players are going to get differing numbers of ascensions on these different champions, right? Some players over the course of the year, just due to engagement or where their current progression may be, they may only pick up a handful, whereas others might be chasing, oh, I really want A2 for all of these, right? So our goal was to kind of accommodate that spectrum so that if you do get one, if you do get a couple, you're going to have a place to use them. You're likely going to be excited about them due to the value that they bring in the context of the game. And if you pick up all of them, you're going to be able to also use all of them in different areas, right? And some of these are going to be interesting for different reasons. Some of them will just be kind of raw power, and others will be due to what else we're going to see as we keep talking.
Fantastic, man. So I think it's time to show them the super duper pool. Now keep in mind at home that you probably have a lot of super duper shards coming your way. All right, let's get that up on the screen here. The super duper Ascension box is going to feature these 6 champions: Corvus Glaive, Danny Moonstar, Arcade, Hitmonkey, Spiral, and Immortal Abomination. So Neuro, talk to me a bit about this pool here.
Yeah, so as we look through, we can see that there's a couple of attacker-leaning champions that are really going to benefit from these extra base stats and challenge rating that Ascension is going to provide. If we think of Corvus Glaive, someone who maybe isn't your go-to cosmic champion right now, but at any point where his stats are just higher than his opponents, immediately becomes that much more valuable, right? We can also think of champions maybe like Immortal Abomination or Hitmonkey, who have good two-way threat, Spiral kind of being in a similar boat. And Spiral also being another champion who can benefit from being able to punch down in these contexts. Arcade kind of being a champion who got a tune-up earlier this year, and we see having a good defensive impact now as well. So again, the goal here is either immediate value or in the context of everyone else who's going to be ascendable, again, that we'll get to, these champions are going to be valuable.
Absolutely, and you know, Corvus really takes my eye. We've talked about this just me and you. I was so surprised to see him on here, right? So at Corvus's release, he was one of the first 6-stars from like the 6-star featured pool and everything, and everybody was using Corvus, right? 7-star Corvus kind of came to the pool a lot later in the 7-star lifeline, and he hasn't seen as much play. What do you think that could do for Corvus, where he's one of the first ascendable 7-star champions?
Yeah, sorry, hit me with that again, Mike?
No, absolutely. So yeah, we had some tech difficulties there. Basically, ultimately what I said here was that, you know, at launch of 7-stars, Corvus is one of the first 6-stars, punching down. It did so much for him. A lot of players were using Corvus. He joined the 7-star pool very late in the life cycle, ultimately, where there was a lot of 7-stars. What can this do for a champion like Corvus, where all of a sudden he's above his peers once again?
Exactly. Again, he has a limited reach, but he really enjoys exercising that in the fights where that reach is enough, right? And so any opportunity to just extend the amount of damage that he can do in a practical context, whether it's Alliance War, whether it's Battlegrounds, whether it's simply a quest like your EQ, where you can kind of do a limited amount of damage and that's enough to close that out, it just really opens up the number of places across the game that you can use him.
Absolutely incredible, man. So that is, again, just a super duper pool. There's a lot more than just that, right? So that's just the pool that you get from duping 7-stars, right? But there's also the Ascension base pool. So let's talk a little bit about what that is going to be. Let's get the slideshow up there, man. Yeah, so the base pool is going to launch with 5 champions per class. The Ascension pool was very carefully designed. There's going to be many different mechanics that are present within the pool, and these champions will be available via new crystal sources. New cluster drops are going to reward the champion and the individual champion's Ascension items. There's going to be more details on the acquisition method in the coming weeks, but today we're going to preview some of the pool. Now, we don't want to overwhelm with too much information, and we really want to talk about like some intentions and everything. So I think today we're going to show you 2 champions per pool per class for the entire launch pool. And then over the coming weeks on social media and on the forums and on the web, we have some nice graphics made already. They look fantastic, by the way. We had them all done yesterday. I'm really excited about them. So we got some nice graphics showing off the entire pool and then how the whole class fits together as a whole. And we're going to put out some blog posts and everything, just like about intentions and all that kind of stuff. But are you ready to start talking about some ascendable launch pool champions? Chat, are you ready to start hearing about some ascendable launch pool champions? There's going to be a little bit of a delay there. I'm going to pretend like they're all saying yes, as if it's live, right? So let's start jumping into it today. So guys, listen, I don't want a conspiracy here. I don't want anyone to, any conspiracies happening. We already had the Broncos token for the Lunar New Year events. Okay, now I need Kabam Neuro here to confirm that I did not do this.
Correct.
I'll take it.
Confirmed.
The first ascendable champion in the skill pool is going to be Baron Zemo. So Baron Zemo will be in the launch pool for the skill champions for 7-star Ascension. So that is pretty fun. Let's talk a little bit about Baron Zemo and what he's bringing to the pool.
Yeah, so Zemo, again, kind of a versatile 2-way in that sense, has the opportunity to present defensive value, offensive value, longer fights, shorter fights, and again, really benefits from those base stats that can sort of enhance his value in a variety of contexts.
Yeah, absolutely. Are we good on tech issues? Are we got to swap microphones? It's fine. It's fine. Hi, Screen. That's Kabam Vincent. Ultimately here, when you got a live show, sometimes you got to swap microphones. That's totally fine, right? So we're going to vamp a little bit here. But as you guys know, I am a big fan of Baron Zemo, right? So Baron Zemo is going to be in the launch pool, which is pretty fun. That's really exciting. Are we good? Are we all good, everyone? I think we're good. I think we're good. So talk a little bit about Baron Zemo here.
Yeah, so we had some goals with this pool. We'll see as we keep talking about these champions that there are some trends amongst classes and some things that we're trying to set up so that all of these champions can interact in a healthy, interesting way with one another, right? So we think of Zemo, we think of the cleanse and the debuff interactions there. We think of good bleeds and that being kind of traditional skill mechanics that we can lean into and that we'll continue to reinforce and maybe interact with on the science or on the mutant side as well, right?
Yeah.
And then again, just calling back to it, Zemo being a champion who has good offensive value, good defensive value, and when he has even more stats, those values get enhanced, and maybe he starts then competing with someone who's more of a specialist but doesn't yet have those increased stats. And so again, just interesting choices.
Absolutely. Can we get the slideshow back up here? So Baron Zemo is the first one. Like I said, we're going to be showing off 2 champions per class. The other ascendable skill champion is going to be Korg. So how do we feel about Korg right now?
Yeah, definitely my favorite Battlegrounds attacker.
Yeah, he's okay on attack. He can do some things. I mean, I guess it depends on when you use him. If you were to use him after Ascension launches, he might be a little bit better.
Ooh.
But if you use him right now, probably not too good. So you know what? Let's take a quick look at the Korg buff here. I do have a video already. I'm very excited about this. So we should have the microphone on for this as well. But Korg is finally going to be an attacker in the year of 2026. So as you can see here, watch this. We're going to be going for the special one after putting on those bleeds. Check out the burst damage here on the bullets. That's a nice, solid over 100k special one here, right? So Korg, for the first time ever, is going to be very nice to use on attack. And once you ramp him up, he does not stop doing damage, which is really cool, man. So let's talk a little bit about this buff here. So Korg has been in the game for a very long time, right? Maybe 7 or 8 years now. He's been an attacker with synergies in the past, but never really on his own, right? So now he's going to be definitely an attacker in Battlegrounds here and there, but more so geared towards Coliseum and mid to long range fights where you can throw a few special 2s, there's now a bleed vulnerability on Special 2. The Special 2 bleed duration is increased by a lot. The stack limit's increased by a lot. Each hit inflicts a bleed, and the first hit of the Special 1 refreshes those bleeds, and the bullet hits do instant bleed. So if there's more bleed damage, or more bleed debuffs, it's going to be more bursts, especially with the vulnerability.
That's exactly right. And the primary goal here with Korg that we see, and that we'll see maybe with others, is really trying to set up, okay, this champion has something going for them. How can we enhance that? The thing that's already there, right? Sort of refine it, make it more accessible, in this case, as you called out, with the pretty long duration on the bleeds. And then where can we find a place that they're really going to thrive, right? In this case, Coliseum, potential to ramp up, maintain that ramp, and just keep throwing those SP1s and get some big damage. The other note here being, it's going to be very minimal impact on defense. If you happen to have a bleed on you and you also get hit by the SP1, you'll feel a little bit of a red number damage. But for the most part, the goal here is let's enhance him on attack. His defensive threat's already there. He's got a good ecosystem to interact with mutants in that context. So really just focusing on attack here.
Absolutely. I feel like he's going to be a nice addition then with this buff to kind of round out his kit. Really, really solid stuff, man. And also, one more thing with that, by the way, before we go on to science here, is that that buff is going to be available for all Korgs, right? Not just ascended 7-star Korg, and he's also not the only champion getting buffed in the launch pool, right? We have a pretty sizable number of champions being buffed for the launch pool, actually. Do you know the exact number offhand?
I do.
Do you want to say it?
Maybe at the end.
Maybe at the end. That sounds like a fun thing to do. All right, so let's talk about science now. The first champion we're showing you in the science pool for the launch pool is going to be this guy right here. Talk to me a little bit about Spider-Punk.
Yeah, Spider-Punk, super fun attacker. If you can get into his playstyle, right? You have the swipes. You're basically playing guitar in a way. Really powerful attacker in that context. Again, is another champion who, if you have a 3-bar loop, maybe that you're aiming for a 3 or 4-bar loop, can be really good in shorter fights, will benefit from the extra attack, extra challenge rating that Ascension can provide, but also has some tricks on defense that, again, in the right context, you can look to use him as a two-way there. So.
Absolutely. Speaking of that, let's talk about this guy right here. He's got a lot of stuff going on.
He does. Very strong defender. And just to note, kind of is the upper limit really that we're looking for in terms of ascendable defenders right now.
Okay.
Obviously, he's pretty modern in that sense. And we feel like he was a really good candidate for kind of this is what we're looking to embody in this pool right now as far as defensive threat. Also, obviously has prestige as a factor, which we'll continue to see, so that if you're the type of player who maybe wants to really push prestige hard, you will have the opportunity as you chase this Ascension base pool as well.
Absolutely. He's actually #1 prestige right now, so now he's super duper #1.
Super duper.
Super duper, yeah. So we have Spider-Punk, we have High Evolutionary, and for science. How about that? Moving on to Mystic. Ready to talk about the Mystic class?
I am. This is, I think, one of the more interesting classes.
It really is, especially this champion right here.
Big Mojo.
Big Mojo will be ascendable in the launch pool. Now, really interesting thing about Mojo is he's not in the regular base pool. He's in the Incursions Crystal, right? So we're also now seeing a really wide net of champions here, right? Because we have champions who are technically called rare champions, like Mojo. Champions who are super high in prestige. We have two-ways. We have some attacker leaning. We have some more defensive leaning, right? So we have Mojo, who I personally view kind of like a two-way, but kind of attacker leaning in my eyes, personally. I know that he's kind of like a boss, kind of like he's like a defender boss and mystic boss in a way. But like if you've ever used a 7-star Mojo in Alliance War, oh my God, he's absolutely unbelievable. So now an Ascended Mojo, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's been interesting to see how his perception has changed a little bit over time. The atrophies in some ways become more valuable in the Mystic class. But again, another great example of someone who has some two-way leanings, but you give them a little bit of extra base stats. You put them in the context of some other champions who they are either strong or weak against, depending on class, right? And all of a sudden we have this really interesting ecosystem that starts to emerge, and that was really the goal throughout this process.
Absolutely. Now, speaking of Mystic two-ways, tell me about this guy.
Yeah, Sasquatch, one of the I guess original 7-star base pool members that we'll be carrying over. We felt like he did a really good job of sort of what we want when we allow champions to have more stats. He was a really kind of standout attacker in a way that he doesn't always get to be with the launch of the 7-star pool. Also a defender that's fallen off a little bit as we've introduced more science attackers who can really kind of have an accelerated fight against him. But we think that we're going to see that same thing where really noticeable standout fights on offense, and then also just a really solid defender with those extra stats.
That sounds great. So we have Mojo and Sasquatch, kind of like going back to how things used to be a little bit on the defender side here, I'm feeling like, right? Like Sasquatch is like, I feel like he might be making a resurgence, right? Where like Sasquatch was like the Battlegrounds defender. Now he's hardly in any top players' decks, right? So I'm interested to see what happens once he can be ascended. That's really, really interesting. So Cosmic. Cosmic's an interesting class, right? So we already had Corvus. He can do a lot of damage. Chat, what do you guys think? What do you guys think we have cooking up here in Cosmic? We have another bruiser, another attacker, another defender. There could be a lot of things in Cosmic. It's a pretty wide pool here. You ready to show him the first one?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Adam Warlock will be in the launch pool for a 7-star Ascension.
Really just a solid champion.
Yeah.
If we think about it. Can do a lot on attack, can take a lot of different fights if you want to. Yeah, lots of buffs that you'll be gaining for the various contexts that you need those. Pretty serviceable as a defender in the right context. But ultimately, our goal with this pool was to let players have fun and to set up a sustainable system for fun. And we feel like Adam is a really good champion just to let players have a lot of fun with.
Absolutely. So Adam is such a fun champion to play. He's so powerful. His pod is really interesting, and he's just a fantastic champion to use. We also have Vision Arcus coming to the Cosmic Launch Pool too. That's pretty cool. You know, Arcus is cool. He's an interesting champion to me where he's always kind of felt like, oh, he's good. He's good. Like, he's not bad. But he kind of feels like he's right there. You know, it's like,
yeah.
He's there, he's on that line. But, like, would I use him over other Cosmic champions? Would you?
Well, what if we pushed him over that line?
We could push him over the line. I mean, if you want to, we can buff him a little bit, right? We can boost him up a little bit. So Vision Arcus will be one of the champions getting a buff alongside the Ascension launch as well. Let's talk a little bit about what this is going to be doing for Vision Arcus.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this. I got the chance to directly work on this, so it's really cool. The armor breaks are going to be there just a little bit more quickly, which is really the only thing that's going to be defensive oriented again here. So it's a minimal impact on defense, but on offense, you're just going to be able to stack those up that much more quickly if you're trying to set up for your SP2 Armor Shattered, for example. The armor break duration is also increased on attacks, so that if you have to bait out some specials, for example, and just play a little bit slower tempo, he can actually afford that. The SP1 is now going to offer a decent amount of comfort and just extend your damage cash-in because it's going to pause that Armor Shattered, as well as your SP3 Fury and Cold Aura, kind of once you're set up and just looking to close out the fight, deal some good damage in Coliseum, whatever the context may be. Then that also just got a little bit of damage, and then the Fury extended, as well as the Cold Aura. And then giving him a little bit of modern tech utility in being able to interact with Special Lock, which is something that we see more often now.
Yeah, that sounds great. I mean, in all honesty, though, it's like, you know, all jokes aside, Vision Arcus has a lot of damage potential already, right? Mm-hmm. So taking him just like taking those quality of life features, sometimes it just takes like a little tiny thing to really take a champion from like pretty good to like, oh, that's a really solid champ, right?
Yeah, sometimes just the line between, this is slightly frustrating because I can't quite chase this, to, oh, wow, this feels really good. Sometimes there's not so much distance as you might expect. Absolutely.
You know, now I was moving on to tech, right? We talked a bit about like, the good old days with like, you know, the meta and battlegrounds, all this kind of stuff. There was a defender who came onto the scene a while ago, and she was really making waves. She was really making waves. She was kind of like unlike anything anyone's really ever seen before. She was very competitive focused, and she's also kind of fallen out of the meta a little bit as time went on. So I'm personally hoping we kind of see a little bit more of this champion. Penny Parker will be one of the champions in the tech launch pool for Ascension. How do we feel about her?
Yeah, we love Penny for multiple reasons. One is a really good example of a defender who, if you're willing to slow down the fight, you can kind of beat with anyone. But if you have the right RPG keys, then it becomes a lot more explosive. So we'll be looking to set up that with defenders as much as we can within this pool. And kind of reinforce that as we saw with Cosmic, or at least as we will continue to see. So we also feel like Penny's a good example of someone who, again, in the right context, can be a really valuable attacker.
Absolutely.
So we'll be setting that up too.
Yeah, and maybe there might be some keys in the Cosmic class that like interact with her auto block in an interesting way.
Maybe.
We'll have to see. Moving on, we also have Lady Deathstrike, who we did have as pretty much like the feature example for Ascension. So we kind of knew this one was coming, right? But now Lady Deathstrike, she's a very interesting champion. She's got some good quirks in her kit, right? Like for example, the armor stuff, and she's got a lot of debuff, she's got a lot of damage, but you know, she's solid, she's good, she's really fun, but she could be a little bit better. So we're gonna go ahead and make that happen. And Lady Deathstrike is gonna get a little bit of a buff, and we're gonna talk about that right now as well. Okay, so talk to me about the Lady Deathstrike buff.
Yeah, we had a couple of goals here. One is just protecting her damage. This will be the first time that we've unveiled severe debuffs in a non-science class. And in this case, we're using it with her dots in tech, which is something that we might see more in the future as well. Just protecting it, allowing her to be more consistent. If you need a lot of dots, you'll be able to access those. Making her slightly more comfortable with the ferocity coming down. Sometimes you're building up to, if you want your first SP2, you might be getting close to that SP3 instead, just making it a little bit easier to set that up. And then something that players have been interested in for a really long time, and that we've been interested for a while as well and keeping an eye on. Her ruptures scale in a really interesting way with the armor. That can, in some contexts, be really good, and in other contexts, leave you wanting a little bit. If you think of class advantage, you get a lot of attack rating for free. I want to be able to leverage that. I want to feel like I'm doing more damage on my dots. And so we're opening that up as well. So sort of splitting that ratio. It will still be a really strong armor ratio, and now just an attack ratio on top of that as well.
So now, with that change, do you think it still makes sense to run the armor stat focus with her?
I think so. I think it's still a strong enough ratio on the armor. Came down just slightly to accommodate the attack rating, but she still scales really well with it.
Cool. Makes sense, man. That's really fun. All right, and now the final class here, we have Mutant. Now, Mutant's an interesting class. There's a lot of interesting champions in Mutant. We have another champion who is in the initial 7-star roster here. We have Bishop coming to the pool. Now, Bishop is another champion who was like that standard 2A at launch, right? When Battlegrounds first started, this was one of the most valuable champions in the game. Now we hardly see him in meta decks anymore, but can we see that shift now that he's going to be ascendable?
Yeah, I think we will. I think he's another, again, one of those champions who, if you have to bait out more SP1s, let's say, all of a sudden you're taking that much more chip. He feels that much more advantaged. The flip side of that, if you're using him on attack, that SP2, kind of with the multiplicative damage of the more it does, the more the subsequent Incinerate's going to do. Again, just really allowing him to close out some fights that are maybe slightly outside of his reach right now. And again, setting up an ecosystem around him between skill and between techs where, cool, he's an interesting choice, and I think we'll see a bit of a resurgence.
Sounds good, Matt. Now, the other mutant is actually Toad. And now, to be entirely fair, they already knew that Toad was ascendable. In the initial blog post, I wrote, 30 champions that are not owned yet, plus the January Saga Chase, right? So let's go ahead and tell them another mutant as well. Emma Frost is also joining the launch pool for mutant champions. I love Emma Frost. I've always been a really big Emma Frost guy.
Yeah, very cool champion. Was kind of the utility queen when she first came out.
Yeah.
In some ways debuted reverse controls for us, and players had the long time look of, okay, is she awoken or not, right? So that I have to worry about that. But yeah, it doesn't really need a buff, right? Right, chat? We don't really need to look for that.
I think she's fine as is. But I mean, if you have any extra time, maybe you can just do one. What do you think?
Yeah, okay.
All right, sounds good, man. I like it. Sounds good. So we're also going to be buffing Emma. Now, honestly, I'm a big fan of this one. She feels really, really solid here. So she's actually getting a decent amount of changes here, ultimately. Now, this is one of those examples of little things are changing, but it really makes a really large difference, right? So as you can see here in both forms, she's going to be able to gain more prowess, right? And that's pretty important because ultimately in diamond form, that's where you get your utility, that's where you get all your stuff. You have your, you gain now more prowess when you get incinerate, shock, or bleed immunity while in diamond, but in telepath form, you can get up to 15. The prowess duration is increased, and the crit rating per prowess is also increased. So what was Emma Frost's thing always since launch? It's like, well, if you build her up all the way, and if her special 2 crits, she's going to do a lot of damage, right? So it's going to make that a little bit more consistent.
Exactly. Consistency is really the name of the game with a couple of these tune-ups where these champions, you could already use them if you wanted to, but they really benefit so much from a little bit of quality of life, maybe a little bit of extra damage or utility in some cases, so that they really shine to the fullest extent in the current state of the game, right? Emma being just a really good example where there was a great base that we could build on.
Absolutely. And it's with this mutant pool, we have Bishop, who we might see as a bit of a stronger defender again. We have some interesting stuff going on with prowess over here on defense. Maybe we might see some stuff in the tech pool that interacts with some of these champions and mechanics. What do you think?
Yeah, gaining multiple prowess on shock. I don't really know.
I don't know who would do that, but
right?
maybe there might be. Who knows?
We'll see.
But that is going to be the preview today of the Ascension and Launch Pool. Of course, keep an eye out over the next couple of weeks. You're going to be knowing all 30 of these champions before the next live stream, within the next really like 2.5 weeks, give or take. But Kabam Neuro, thank you so much for joining, man. Is there anything else you want to tell the summoners here about this launch pool, how it was crafted, some goals, and what we really want to see from this?
Yeah, so hopefully as you saw kind of emerge from some of the trends in the champions that we've already shown and that we've just talked about with Mike, we wanted to craft sustainable fun. And so that can mean trying to give players with different interests the opportunity to express themselves to the fullest, right? So there's some of these champions that are going to be a little bit easier to use and more pick up and play. Some of these are going to have some more complex play styles that players can really dive into. Some of these are going to be defender leaning. Some of them will be two ways that you can throw in your Battlegrounds deck and feel good regardless. And others are going to be some more offensive specialists. So really trying to capture everything that we possibly could, again, with Prestige coming in there as well. So trying to make sure that whoever you pull, you're going to be able to get value from, and ideally also have a lot of fun with as well.
Awesome, man. That sounds fantastic. So thank you so much again for taking the long trip out here. It was fantastic having you up here this week and on the show, and we're very glad to have you here, man.
Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Now, on this smooth transition, I did go ahead and get a little clip of Emma Frost. So let's take a look at that Emma Frost buff and look at what that damage could look like here. All right. So Emma Frost, as you can see here against the Bullseye, we're in diamond form, giving him pretty much no power on those heavy attacks. Now, I'm going to be able to counter that Evade right here in Telepath. A lot of crits happening here into a big special 2, into a nice 135k special 2, which is really, really solid. I'm just going to drag this out a little bit here because we're switching a microphone, because we're having technical issues and we're doing this live. So that is going to be the base pool for Ascension so far. So again, keep an eye out on socials, on our social accounts, on the forums, on our web blogs, and all that kind of stuff. And you're going to be seeing the other pools happening. Now, we should be good to go. We got a nice little transition there, and no one was even the wiser on it, because I have another guest with me today. We have the Champ Daddy himself, Kabam Niv. What is going on, my friend? Champ Daddy, how you doing?
Been a minute. Good.
It has been a minute.
Glad to
Now,
be back, yeah.
Interesting, right? Your first champion in Marvel Contest of Champions with Emma Frost.
Yeah, Emma was the first champ I ever made.
I love that. So how do you feel about this tune-up? How do you feel about what's going on here?
It is really cool to see. You look back on your work as a champ designer, and especially the early ones, it's really easy to see all the mistakes, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I love Emma, but there was a bunch of things that I would do different. But in my heart, I kind of knew that she had this really kind of core, solid, strong mutant identity kit, and I felt like it was gonna last, basically, with some rough spots. And so now seeing her in the kind of 7-star Ascension launch pool with just like these little tune-ups in the right spot that address some of those pain points is really, really cool to see.
It's really cool, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the buff here? You think that's going to be taking her to that next level?
My kind of the biggest concern that I had with her for a long time was some of that like prowess consistency build up flowing between the two forms. In the lore, one of the big things about her was always that she does so dramatically different things in diamond form versus telepath form, and so I really wanted to capture that in the original design, and then it ended up a little bit rocky in certain spots. But yeah, now I think this is going to be a lot smoother. So I'm
fantastic, man. That's awesome. Now, we've had a lot of surprises for the summoners today. We actually do have another pretty big surprise.
We love surprises.
We do. So let's get that slide deck up here. Who's that? Who's that right there? Story so far. I think that's Karina. So late, early, the Chrono Serpent arrives precisely when they mean to. Time and space are their plaything. But now it seems Karina has become their latest corrupted puppet as well.
Yep.
Act 9.4 is launching, not next month, not the month after, but in April. We're a little bit ahead here, really, but we're pretty excited about this. And the reason why I wanted to do this is because you actually worked on this boss.
Yes, this has been, I guess what I've been working on for the past few months is this, I don't know how much I'm actually allowed to say, a I'll say a Chrono Serpent affected version of Karina.
Yeah.
I got a thumbs up from Vincent over there in the
love
corner,
it.
so it
We
didn't
love
break
that.
any NDAs or anything.
And yeah, no, she looks absolutely incredible here, whatever
Yes.
happened. And I am so excited to see how the story concludes here, what this fight is like. You know, we're pretty much pushing her over the line now, and just get a couple more beta tests and tuning and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
they're again, not going to say anything about the fights in particular,
yeah.
but they are a lot of fun. There's a lot going on. We wanted it to be a really, really cool capstone on this particular chunk of story arc. It's going to be impactful. It's going to be emotional. It's going to be hopefully difficult as well because it is a boss at the end of the day. So yeah.
Yeah. Really, really cool stuff, man. So yeah, that's coming. That's coming in April. 9.4 Act 9 is coming to a close. We're really excited about that. But that's not why I brought Aiden on the show today.
That was like a last minute edition.
That was a last minute edition. I was like, hey, I kind of want to do this thing. But we got some fun going on today.
Yes.
We got something in here. We got the Summoner's Choice 2026.
It's a mystery bag.
It's a mystery bag, right? It can really be anything, and that's really, really exciting. But we had an incredible Summoner's Choice 2026.
This was a very fun year.
It was a fun one, right? So in round 2, let's get the picture up on the screen real quick. And so for round 2, you know, it came down to Colossus, Pork Rind, Storm Phoenix, and Phantasma. And one thing that was so crazy about this year is there was a 3% difference between first place and fourth place.
Yes.
Between first place and third place, it was under 1%. So the final 2 very easily could have looked very different.
This was, I think, the closest year we've had as far as like vote breakdowns. And
Throughout
also,
the whole process, yeah.
It's always cool to see the numbers shift around between, like, you know, you got the top 4 and you'll see the champion in 4th and you're like, well, they're probably going to get cut before the round 2, but then because people's votes shift over the course of it, you see positions change, and
it's really interesting to see, you know, the initial 8, right? And then it's like, well, all those other votes need to go somewhere, right? And different players like different things, and that's really, really fun. The last time that Aiden was here, we had Summoner's Choice Rework 2025, and I love Summoner's Choice. I love giving our summoners the chance to vote for a champion to be reworked or added to the game and all this kind of stuff. And Ghost Rider won Summoner's Choice Rework 2025, and he's getting the full rebuild, kind of like Cyclops did last year. He went head-to-head with Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange was just released with the rebuild last year, who's absolutely incredible, by the way, right? But today we're going to give a first look at what that Ghost Rider
just a peek.
Yeah, just a peek of what that model looks like. Oh my goodness gracious, he looks so good.
It looks like, I'm super excited for this. I mean, I've seen more than what the players are seeing here, obviously. This looks incredible. Work has already kind of started on this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
Oh, it's so cool, right? So, of course, he's getting the full rebuild, release as a whole new champion. Doctor Strange is just the easiest example because it was last month, right?
Yes.
So just like how Doctor Strange was buffed and reworked completely from the ground up and released, same thing for Ghost Rider. He's not coming next month. He's not coming the month after, but he is coming. He is coming this year, and he's coming soon enough to the point where we got the model, the kit's being worked on, and all that fun stuff, right? So that's really cool. I think he looks absolutely incredible. But you know what, though? There was also another vote for a champion.
Indeed. This one was a little bit less known about, I guess.
I think so, yeah.
Anyway.
So actually, in the top ranks of Banquet this year, there was a selector for voting for a rework of a champion. Those champions were Vulture, Cable, Hulk Ragnarok, or Airwalker. And today, we're ready to reveal who won that vote. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready to reveal
I know the answer, but yeah.
You know the answer. 3, 2, 1. Who won it, Aiden? Nope. Nope. No, absolutely not. Not that picture. Nope. That's okay. That's fine. But Cable won this one. That's all right. Cable won that vote. Cable won that vote. And that's awesome.
Yeah,
so really fun thing about Cable is like he's getting a rework, and that's incredible. Now he's not going to have new animations or anything.
No.
He's not. But he is going to get a really nice facelift makeover, right? So he's a very old champion. He's an old champion, and he's going to look a lot different, which is absolutely really cool. And he's coming a lot sooner than you may think. So, of course, we'll give you all the details on all that kind of stuff. And we're about to find out. Well, actually, we're not going to find out yet. We're not going to find out yet. We're going to go over. Let's talk about Summoner's Choice. We're gonna talk about the history of Summoner's Choice real quick. So it started off with Hercules, and infamously, right? Hercules is of course a fan favorite champion. I love Hercules. I dressed up as Hercules on YouTube and streamed the Arena Garage and everything for a long time, way back in the day. So that was really fun. Then of course we had Quicksilver. We had Gladiator, who is probably my favorite champion in the entire game still at this point.
Age like a fine wine.
Oh my god, I really love Gladiator. He's so good. Shathra is such a fantastic champion, and then a champion that you designed, Mr. Knight.
Last year.
Mr. Knight from last year.
It feels like it was just yesterday, but actually it was months ago.
Doesn't it really though, actually?
Yeah.
Like that's actually
also,
insane.
it feels like Hercules launched just yesterday.
I know, it really does.
Later,
Time is a flat circle and it's crazy. Anyway, so Mr. Knight, really fun, underrated champion in my opinion. I actually use him quite a bit.
I like him. I've been seeing like some folks kind of key into a lot of his utility, especially with the sleep on the ESP1. And then like getting the chain of light proficiency, which is with the crits and like it, when you see all the numbers line up, it works out like really clean. And I think he's also going to age well, like really good utility on the Tranquilize too. So I mean, I did it, but I'm a very big fan of the work.
He's very cool. So those were the past few years, and now
let's talk about
this year. We're down the two. We have Pork Grind, and we have Colossus, Age of Apocalypse. Two champions that are kind of similar to champions we have right now, but through like different dimensions.
Yeah, I mean that was. I can't remember how much we've talked about it, but the theme of this year was these alternate versions of champions that already exist in the contest. To give people different takes on fan favorites. That was kind of the general through line.
Absolutely. So I think it's time to reveal for the very first time, never before seen, definitely not on this stream before.
Or anywhere.
We're about to reveal.
I was removed from like all internal work chats, and like I had to, like there were meetings that I had to leave early or miss entirely because they were going to be talking about the winner. And this is a very big mystery to me.
And no one knows at all who won. And actually, I very specifically got the red marker to go with the yellow envelope because it's either mutant or skill. Which is which is really fun, right? So I have a present for you, Aiden.
Yay.
And you can open that, and we're going to reveal the winner of Summoner's Choice after it's in there. It's going to say it in there, and that's the first time that we're going to have the winner for Summoner's Choice, which is really fun. I'm really excited. It's like New Year's Eve. Here we go. Oh my God. I don't know if these are going to work, but I paid money for these.
Drum roll, I guess.
Drum roll, please. The winner.
The winner of Summoner's.
Hold it up and show the people.
Like,
you can do it.
Oh,
that's okay. You can show them.
This is a hedgehog card.
It's cute.
Okay, the winner is. Oh my goodness. Colossus, Age of Apocalypse. Well, hey, there we got one. Harder. Pull it like.
Oh, that was fun. Is there another one? You got it on camera.
Here, best one.
You're going to end. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hey.
That works. Yeah. So, Colossus, Age of Apocalypse is your winner for Summoner's Choice 2026 with 56% of the vote. This it's close. This is a mess, by the way.
I told you this was gonna happen.
This is a mess.
Every year. Who could foresee this coming? Literally any of them.
Oh my God. So yeah, really fun stuff. Really fun stuff. Congratulations to Colossus. This was a very close year. Throughout the entire process, he almost didn't make it in the final 4. Yeah. Right? It's crazy. So really cool stuff. I'm excited to see what the champion team does with Colossus. It's going to be really cool, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, I think it'll be fantastic. I mean, the Summoner's Choice champs are always flat to work on. They get a little bit of extra just like care and attention because they have to put in all this work into the vote. So yeah, really excited.
Absolutely. And of course, on the live stream, we'll be keeping you guys updated when it comes to the model and all that kind of stuff. Like we do, giving you a little bit of a heads up when it comes around. But we can't wait to get going on Summoner's Choice 2026. That is absolutely so excited, so exciting, and I can't even believe it. I cannot believe it. That is so fun. All right, so we do have one more thing today. We do have giveaway winners.
Yes, of course.
Giveaway winners for 5 Titan crystals and 5 champion choice selections between M'Baku and Blue Marvel.
Luck,
So
everybody.
I think we're ready. We're good to go on the giveaway winners. Right? We're good? We're good to go. All right, so for the Titan crystals, congratulations to Munding102084. The second person, congratulations.
Triquilin?
That's right.
Try.
Yep, that's right. Triquilin, congratulations. Also, big congratulations to Ithiago11, Ife167, and Chubby Chub 94. You're getting a Titan crystal. How about that? Now, for your champion choice winners, you have Severa 1206, Holy Ace 25, E Quince, Danny L Nomad, and Black Tiger 200. How about that? Congratulations. Keep an eye out on your Twitch DMs messages section, and you will be getting a system thing, and you'll be getting a message from us about those things, which is really, really cool. So yeah, that is the stream. We had a lot to talk about today. We had the Ascension launch pool preview, Summoner's Choice 2026. Yep. We showed off Magic. We had the AQ meta event. We had a lot of stuff really going on in the stream.
Preview for the Karina fight coming down.
That is absolutely right. The end of Act 9. That's incredible. Plus, we had 2 fantastic mustaches on the stream between Aiden and
So when are
Commander
you
Earl.
gonna shave a mustache in the fight?
Oh my God! But I could do it right now. It's gotta get rid of this part right here. All right. What do you guys think? Chat. What do you think? Should we do it? Should we mustache it up? Should you peer pressure me into getting a mustache? I don't even know.
No.
I don't even know. I see one person saying no and one people saying yes. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, this was a really fun stream. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to everyone who was watching at home. It's always a pleasure sitting here, and I love doing this with all of you. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you are new to Marvel Contest of Champions, make sure you download it and play along with us. And until next time, we'll see you in the Battle Realm.
All right, everybody. Turn this on. Thank you, everyone. I said it earlier on my stream. Thank you, everyone who's showing up and hanging out, and for all of the new follows. I didn't want to interrupt the stream by saying thank you each and every single time. I see them, and I greatly appreciate it. I do need to go for a second. Probably, I don't know, 45 seconds to a minute and a half. I will be coming right back. We will be recording basically my synopsis video, and we'll do that live on stream. A lot of you encouraged me to do it and said it would actually be probably interesting to see. Drops are enabled. I know there was a lot of issues. I could not appreciate you moderators, particularly I saw UB. I know there was other people helping answer questions and things. I don't know if that's on the Kabam side. I refreshed my my even tags on the Twitch stream in hopes that would start them for you all, because I know we want them, right? Like, of course you do. And I know I do. And it looked like MCoC Gamma said that they were now getting them as well too. So hopefully that's happening. Reach out to Kabam support. Make sure you are connected as well. I had mine I was getting them. I could see it. So I of course I want to help you guys get them. And I hate when people hide the ball on that crap. Like, obviously I'm benefiting too. By you all choosing to watch me here. And you got a lot of places you could watch, and I appreciate you watching here. There's a couple questions though. I have a couple questions for you all. If you guys could put it in the chat. Of course, YouTube, we're still here. We're not going anywhere, you all. There was one thing that really confused the hell out of me. And because I think I'm going to do this in 2 different videos, and I want your opinions as viewers. I'm going to do the synopsis video. I think Ascension should be its own video. I'll talk about Ascension in the synopsis video, make sure people are aware of it, that it's coming, maybe give a few brief thoughts and like show the champions that are going to be ascendable that we know. But then I'm going to do a whole separate video on Ascension. I saw like Luke and a lot of us talking about it. And what they're doing with Ascension, one, I still feel like there's a couple pieces of information we don't have that we're going to need to get. Also, because of the buffs, and a lot of them are defenders, I see kind of a weird way where they're almost like resetting the general meta depending on what they fully do with Ascension. And so I just want to make sure everyone's kind of aware of that and is able to make some choices, smart choices with their rank up resources. Right now, I'm kind of the mind, if you really love one of these champions, like you guys know I love Spider-Punk. Dude, this is me finally taking him to rank 4. I love Spider-Punk. He's a phenomenal champion. I think he's even good in the current meta right now before Ascension, all that goes live. So if you're already a fan of them, you know, Buff Emma looked really cool. I like Lady D. Dude, you guys would be shocked at the arguments that took place about really smart players being like, hey, Lady D's not going to scale properly because of the way she works with the armor ups, right? And there was like full on, you guys would not believe the absolute arguments and insults levied at people who said that, because they're like, no, we tested this, that's not going to be the case. And so to now see her getting buffed, it's like a little like, one, that's the exact sort of argument that I couldn't stand. You saw me get so frustrated. It's like, I just don't want any part of this anymore. Like, I need to get away from this. It's so toxic and unnecessary. And then there's another part of it that is making me like smile because I'm like, that's what so many smart players were saying from the get-go. I don't understand what was so offensive about it. And so it's cool to see it happen because she's a really cool character. Like, she is a very, very cool character in our game that just didn't make sense to level her up. Like Simula did a great video on that, and he's such a smart player. It's not shocking at all that he put that out there. Now, here's the other thing that I want your guys' opinion on. And like I said, I'm going to head out for a minute. Drink a lot of water, okay? A lot of coffee, a lot of water. I'm sure you guys understand what I'm talking about. Is this, if I understood this correctly, it is right now for me a massive disappointment. Like, massive. And I don't want to overreact to it because I'm not totally sure I even understand everything perfectly. So I'm really going to ask you guys to let me know, was this your understanding of it too? I've pulled up, for those who are listening but not watching, I've pulled up what they're calling the Super Duper Ascension pool. And it sounds like it's going to be a box, right? A box item. We've had these box items before, right? For like banquet and stuff. The idea behind them is you're basically going to get every champion and all that. Or it's to prevent you pulling multiple copies of the same champion over and over, which I get. What's really what's possibly very disappointing to me, and I'm hoping I'm not understanding it correctly, is and I've probably pulled up the wrong slide. Let me find the right slide for this. Is this. It's these retroactive rewards. Now, if you've been following my channel, and I know a lot of channels have talked about this is the information we were told months ago. You know, there's a lot, my channel as well, put a lot of demands on Kabam. We're like, no, you guys got to stop this and stuff, right? And get information to us about Ascension before banquets, so people make informed decisions. Like, we want to enjoy the game, just tell us what's going on. It's okay. And one of the big fixes was that all duping 7-stars were now going to grant a special new crystal shard. All 7-star dupes were going to grant the Super Duper Ascension shards. I don't recall that being what was titled before. I don't know if it's really that important or not. Max Sig Titan dupes grant extra Super Duper Ascension shards. And even myself, I recall saying like, hey, go ahead and open up your Titans. I opened up my Titans. A lot of you were like, hey, we should go ahead and save them and hoard them because we're not going to get anything for them. And I was like, no. They fixed it. It's going to be these retroactive rewards. And then when Ascension goes live, we're going to get, I will say that the young boy in me who will never ever die laughed every time Kabam was talking about how they're going to mail us their massive package. They have this massive package that they're going to mail us. They kept saying it. It was really funny to me that, like I said, the child in me who I intentionally never want to go away. And I was under the impression that these ascension shards and all this stuff we were going to get was going to be for all ascendable champions. Like, we were going to be opening up crystals for all of them. And this is where I really need you guys to tell me how you understood it, because I'm hoping I misunderstood. What I felt like I understood on today's stream was that these super duper ascension shards, max sig titan dupes, grant extra super duper ascension shards. This pool consists of 6 champions and utilizes the box system. This actually has nothing to do with any champions that aren't in the super duper pool. Like, that's it. All of our 7-star dupes and all that stuff are only for these 6, not for all of the ascendable champions. Is that correct? Because if that's correct, I'm like, why? Like, why? I don't understand that. And I'm reading the chat. This is how they announced it for me. So you always understood this, Nick, that the additional items coming from additional 7-star pools and Titans would only be for these 6, not for the other champions. Yeah, that's how you understood too. Okay. That's why I'm not liking it, Luke, is I feel like, wait, I'm locked into these champions. I don't like these champions. I actually don't even have Abomination. He was in like very special things. I had multiple chances to get him from the banquet. If someone had told me, if I worked for Kabam and knew, I would have definitely selected him. But he was only in a sale. He was only for people who spent a lot of money in banquet. I believe, if I'm wrong, tell me. And I'm like, and now I'm going to be getting these resources that were only for this group? Why? Like, why aren't they for all of them? I will admit, and by the way, I feel very good about the stream. I think this stream was great. I overall very happy. This is one that's like not sitting very well with me. They literally have no reason to voluntarily buff champs, and they just make us pay. So I will say this was what I will also feel not vindicated. Is not the right word. Multiple things that I've been saying. Hey, I think this is coming. I think this is coming. I pay a lot of attention to certain things, and I pay a lot of attention, and I feel like they literally said today, we want to place this for ramp up champions. And I've been talking to you, like literally on even today's stream, but in multiple videos over the last few weeks, like we're getting more and more ramp up champions. One of my biggest pieces of feedback to Kabam over literally years was like, you're making these cool champions, but people don't have a place to use them. You got to give them a place to use them. Well, here we go, right? Like, we're seeing it. They literally said it today. Shoot. It sounded like the other champions are in a basic pool, so maybe the same shards can be used in the basic pool instead of the super duper pool. Yeah, that would be, I would like to think that's what's happening here, but I think, especially because other people are saying, no, this is how they've understood it literally the whole time. Oh, sorry, Christian, I didn't finish my point there. Was when they quit the rebalance program, right? I found humor in the way it all transpired, and I tried to have a good time with that. But one of the quote unquote positives I felt like was coming out of it, of course, was removing that stress of like, is my champion to get nerfed? And like, dude, there were so many arguments on Discord. It was just so unnecessary. It was so unnecessary. But what I said was, oh, they're not going to quit buffing champions. That's been their main source of sale. Oh, not the main. That's not fair to say. It has been one of the main sources of sales, right? Is buffing champions, grouping them in a pool, and then they're in a sale, or buffing a champion and attaching a single champion or two to a sale. So I had no doubts that they were going to quit that. I will admit, I'm surprised to see as many as we're getting for Ascension. But, the people who work in balance, they know the game exceptionally well. So I guess I probably shouldn't have been as surprised as I am. They did call out specifically the retroactive economy awards that dupes would go towards a limited pool. Thank you, Hilgendorf. This is why it's really, you guys know me. I like to say like, hey, I may have missed this, and I appreciate that. It doesn't make me feel better about this super duper pool, because I kind of think this pool sucks. Like Danny Moonstar, She's good, dude. She's good character. We're gonna see some. You're gonna see big numbers out of these. I guess you guys probably can't see my cursor. You're gonna see big numbers out of Corvus, Danny, and Hitmonkey. What everything that Neuro said was accurate and true. In my opinion, the ones you're gonna see making a biggest difference in like PvP modes, and if that's not your interest, you're like, I don't care, man, which is fine, is going to be Spiral, potentially Ivon. But you better bet I'm a lot more interested in Spiral all of a sudden. Okay, I'm going to take that small break, and then I will come back. I'll read through the chats really quickly. Then we'll record that video. We might record the Ascension video too, but let's see how the conversation goes for a little bit, because I want to get your guys' thoughts on, are you hyped for it? Are you excited? I personally think right now, continue ranking. You know, if you're about to get rank 5s and rank 5 mats, I won't have enough rank 5 mats at the end of this Coliseum run. If there's a sale, maybe I will. We'll see. But I'm going to rank my Jean Greys. I'm going to rank my Kushalas. I'm going to rank my Serpents. I'm going to rank my. Onslaught. I'm like, stop naming the same designer. I'm going to Spider Woman. I'm still going to rank those OP broken champions. I'm going to enjoy them at rank 5 for as long as I can. I think they're going to compete just fine. Like, is Jean Grey at rank 5 really going to struggle with a rank 5 Ascended Korg? I think not. And so until we get more information about Ascension, I personally am going to go towards, I'm going to default towards my busted rank 5 champions. The only reason why I might not, if you guys see like what I actually do, is because of Battlegrounds and not wanting that champion to be banned. But we'll talk about that when the time comes. Okay, give me, I've upped it to 2 minutes. I've gone from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be right back, y'all. And again, y'all know I appreciate all these follows. It's just a lot as you all get familiar with my channel and that I'm streaming on Twitch now. Hope you guys are getting those drops. I'll be right back. Thanks for doing this, all that. Hey, all right, I'm back. We're gonna just catch up on these chats. Like I said, then I will be recording the synopsis video. I think it'll be a good refresh for all of us too. As you guys know, I try to go through that as quickly as I can, and I'll do as little editorializing as possible, particularly today. And then I think let's talk about Ascension, what we learned a little bit, and then I'll record the Ascension video. I'm just gonna catch up on these chats right now. Again, thank you everyone for all the follows and stuff. Hopefully you're familiar with my YouTube channel. If you're not, either way, welcome. We often play the game while streaming, but today is a little bit different. I never thought we'd get a 7-star magic, and she's coming. And you know what's funny is I think let's wait until we get a strong, unless they said it in the stream. I may have missed it because I was taking notes and screenshots. That I feel like she's going to be considered a new champion because it is a rework or a buff or what have you. So she's in that ascendable pool too, which I think is pretty sweet. I want Doom more than CGR. Yeah, I'm pumped up for the Reforged Doom, that's for sure, or Stellar Forge. You hope you wash your hands always. Dude, a new subscribe. Thank you so much. If I missed a subscribe, if I missed literally anything, please let me know. I always want people to get credit and know that I am grateful for all of the support, all the follows, everything y'all are doing. Thank you so much. Let's get Justin up there. Thank you, Justin.
Dude, Vegas too busy yapping as usual. Super bro here saying, just gracias.
Do we get and another one? Dude, Justin with 2 of them. Holy cow. Thank you so much, Justin. I really appreciate it. Can confirm drops building from your stream. Thank you. Yeah, there was some issues like earlier on in the stream. It was hard to tell if it was because there was a lot of people watching. If it was the individuals, if it was the stream itself, if maybe Cam hadn't activated them for outside of their own stream. Which honestly, to be fair, I think that I would understand that if that was the case. If they want people like trying to watch them specifically, I think that's very fair. And then they activated them afterwards. But then it felt like in the middle of the stream. And, towards the back half, I guess, it was what's confirmed. People who had not been getting them while watching my stream did start getting them. So they're active now, and I'm glad you guys are getting them. Again, thank you very much, Justin, and welcome, Bloody Knight. Can we get to... what's PRG? Also, I follow. Thank you for very much, Abyss. I appreciate it. I've been watching the whole time. Mine just started about 40 minutes ago. So it seems about 40 minutes ago, something happened, whether it's Twitch or Kabam. Unless one of those entities tells us, we won't know what happened there. But I appreciate y'all doing that. I do plan to stream for a while.
Thanks, dude. Vegas too busy yapping as usual. Super bro here saying.
We got a hype train started. I will be honest, I don't even fully know what that means, but I did set up that cool reaction to it. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Ralph is also subbed. Dude, thank you so much. I always read that as Ralph if it's not actually Ralph. Please let me know. R4. You know what? You all are going to keep doing this. I'm fine waiting. We got another gifted sub. If I'm missing you guys, please let me know. Two. Holy cow. Thank you so much, guys. Really a big deal as we continue to try to get this going for everyone.
Dude, Vegas too busy yapping.
Wow. Thank you.
Super bro here saying, just gracias. Huge thanks, dude. Vegas too busy yapping.
Another one?
Super bro here saying, Muchas gracias.
Yaga, thank you so much. Torn, thank you so much.
Huge thanks, dude. Vegas too busy yapping as usual. Super Bro here saying muchas gracias.
Torn cartilage, that hurts. I actually know for a fact as someone who's torn both their meniscus in each knee. So I'm sorry if that's why that's your name. Otherwise, very cool name. I think I've got everyone. If I've missed you, please put it in there. I want people to get their credit. Dude, nice use of the emojis, Justin. Thank you very much. Get D's Nats. Great name.
Huge thanks, dude. Vegas too busy yapping as usual. Super Bro here saying
Ronan, thank you so much. Dude, that's cool, Yaga. Is that that must be on the Twitch side. Super duper disappointed with the super duper. Since so am I, old man easy. I'm extremely disappointed, especially because a lot of you understood how that was going to work. I did not. Once now that you guys are saying you understood it, I'm rereading it and I'm like, I see. I was just wrong. I think I was blanket wrong. I am very disappointed in that pool. I'm even like personally because I could have picked Immortal Abomination so many times from the another sub. Thank you so much, Menace. I could have picked Immortal Abomination multiple times from the banquet, but I unless you had inside info, there's no way for you to have known that he was going to be in this pool. And
thanks, dude. Vegas too busy yapping as usual. Super Bro here saying muchas gracias.
Thank you guys. Thank you for all of this. So, but that like, I don't want to make a big deal out of something that like negatively impacted me. You know what I mean? Like I try not to, if I don't think it was something that like interacted or negatively impacted everyone, I'm not going to like be like, whoa, me and blah, blah, blah. This is my thing. So I don't want to do that. Big A equals I-bomb hater. Oh, absolutely. You know what, honestly, though, Stink, as long as we're getting to this level and the last few streams over the course of a couple of weeks, I think we've been getting a little more like, I've been letting you guys a little bit more about me. I've been like explaining, telling you about my youth and my family and my marriage and my life. And so I have one more. This is going to be this is going to drop a bomb on everyone. I'm probably going to lose a lot of the new subscribers and viewers. But I got to do it. I think honesty is important. I kind of hate most people who have two heads. It's just kind of a thing with me. I've just been this way. I can't even really explain it. It's just been something that I've developed over the years. Most people with two heads, and particularly green spiky backs who emit poison, I'm just not a fan. I don't like being around them. It's hard to eat. Like, they always want to have lunch with me, and I'm like, I can't eat around you, man. So I'm glad you pointed that out. I'm really glad you pointed that out, Stink. It's people like you, Stink, that keep me honest, and I like that. Thank you. I thought you were going to say I'm an Eagles fan. Boom, lost subscribers. Oh, God. All right. Let me read a few more things, and then we have to. It is of the utmost importance that we record this video. I don't know, maybe we should just talk. I think we should record the video, though. It'll be good for everyone to be able to like, just like, I thought you said two hats, and I was like, whoa, what's wrong with two hats, man? What's wrong? Sometimes you got to wear a different hat. I'm seeing people still don't understand how getting the Ascension works. All 7-star and Titan dupes give shards for the 6 champ Super Duper. We still don't know how we're getting maps for the baseball champs. Yeah, I passed on about 10 of them as well, and he's the only champ I like in the pool. So that's the other thing. I actually really like I-bomb. I too, see, now that it was me and work, I now may make a big deal about it, because now it's not just me. Now it's not just me. I mean, like, it's a lot of us. It's at least 2 of us. The pool of people negatively impacted by that has grown by over 100% in the last 30 seconds. That is its rate of growth. That it is going to be a tidal wave in a matter of minutes if we don't do something about it now. See how stats can prove anything you want? What's a hype chest? We're getting a hype chest on Twitch. Yes, of course I want to open it. I play video games, for God's sake. You show me something shiny and it says open, I'm going to open it. Let's go. Come on. Yes, I'm like a child. I'm basically a cat swatting at tinfoil balls. It's shiny and I see it and I want to play with it. There it is. I have no idea what that is, but choo choo, let's go. Record the video, but the time is of this. Thank you very much, Weapon X. I appreciate you. Okay, so I apologize, everyone. I'm probably not going to be paying much attention to the chat for a little bit here. We're going to go over the synopsis for this whole thing, the whole thing. It's going to be weird. I've never truly recorded a video live. I've done openings live. So one thing you guys probably know about me, I misspeak a lot, and I try to just laugh it off because I actually do think it is funny, but sometimes I will in the middle of a video, just so you guys know, because then I edit it afterwards, is I'll start down a line of something and I'm like, wait, I don't believe this. Why did I just say that? And then I'll just be like, edit that shit out. I'll wait a few seconds and then I'll continue on. So if all out of nowhere, you guys hear me say, edit that crap out or edit that nonsense out or whatever and pause. That's all that is. And that's just a sign for me when I go to editing. If I see a long pause in the timeline, I know to go there. It helps me speed up the editing process a little bit. Okay. It would help if I could find the, it appears as though my perfect plan of how I was going to name the slides has already stopped working. Great job, me. Way to F up. Glitch incursions. Oh, it literally says, there's a note. I should read my own goddamn notes. There's a note saying no picture. That would explain why I can't find it. All right, here we go. I'm going to give this a go, do my best here. We'll see how this goes. I could tell there's a chance I don't make it through this video. Hey, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be doing the synopsis of the Kabam live stream that they did Friday, January 30th. I am live streaming it right now on Twitch. We're getting phenomenal support on Twitch and on YouTube. Thank you so much, everyone, for being there. Additionally, I'm going to do my best to not editorialize. The goal of this is to get you the information, the news, and get you out back playing the game, on with your life, whatever it is that you are looking forward to doing. Additionally, one last thing, I promise we'll get there, is there's going to be an element we will talk about Ascension. That's probably going to be a separate video. I'll put the need to know information in this one. I will be putting out a second video very soon on Ascension, my thoughts. I'm going to talk it over with the stream a little bit more too. They've already pointed out some things that I definitely missed. So there's no slide for these first few things. Glitch incursions, make sure you do your second run. You had to do a run last week. You got to do a run this week. That's how you get your Star-Lord. I think we're going to have some places for him. We learned a lot about that today. So some of the things I've been predicting are coming true. A bit of a Nostradamus. 2, Fractured Safari. Make sure you're doing your runs there. This week does feel more difficult. I tried doing it live on stream. It was more difficult, but get it done. That's how you're going to get your 7-star Rhino, who does look like he's going to be a good defender. And then 3 that we don't have a slide for is Dimensional Arcade. The most important takeaway for me on this was Mike very clearly said, and I really appreciate him saying this, look, this isn't intended for our most hardcore players. This is intended for our more casual players, and that they are working on the fix for this version. I think that's really important going in mind. I put out a very negative review for it. I did not enjoy it. I did not like my experience with it at all. Some of that was the bugs, but I think knowing what they're targeting with it makes it much easier for me to say, it's just not for me, man. Somehow often deals come out, they're not for me. That's okay. That doesn't make them a bad deal. That just means it ain't for me. And so from now on, I'm going to be formatting Dimensional Arcade that way. And I appreciate Kabam just really, really forthright coming up and saying, this is how it's supposed to work. Moving on, this is our first one we actually do have the slide for, is the update on Thor Ragnarok and Twitch drops, which are active right now. So make sure you go follow many of the content creators who are streaming MCoC, like myself, but others. Thank you so much for that subscribe. They will be putting out the full plans for the Twitch drops next month, is my understanding, on how you're going to get Thor Ragnarok. They've said in the past, you'll be able to get multiple copies of them, get them awakened. And again, drops are activated, and you can follow any content creator. There's a lot of really phenomenal ones. I'm not going to name all because I will forget someone, and that's not what I want to do. Let's go ahead and move on to the next slide, which is the EQ update. Where is that? The new no, that's not it. Here it is. The new EQ update. For me, by far, the biggest takeaway from this is that synergies are back. So many have asked for that. I know I've been asking for that. They talked about removing the crucial style, eliminating the modes from that. One, because it was taking more time. Also, the ability to bring back synergies to the Elder EQ. And last but not least, they did mention this. So I was like, oh yeah, that kind of does make sense. Is that it was removing one of the cool things of Crucible when they do a Crucible style quest. If we're doing this all the time, every single month, it doesn't feel quite as special or maybe even as challenging. That's my editorializing there. I don't think they said that specifically. I did think that was cool. And of course, I'm extremely happy to see synergies coming back and to be able to use them as someone who absolutely enjoys them. We have the reappearance of Alliance Coliseum. I know some of us kind of saw the new AQ, which we'll be talking about a little bit further on, and that the Alliance Coliseum was not part of that cadence. I actually was DMing with Karate Mike. He had let me know that Alliance Coliseum was not going anywhere, that it did not necessarily have a set schedule at the moment. It might in time. You can see it's coming back February 4th through February 7th. They're still sticking with those 3 days. That kind of stinks. Arcade is going to be the boss based on what we can see there. One of my biggest takeaways that I want to make sure is highlighted is that there's going to be more points for the tag champions. I think as they're trying to incentivize us to use the tag champions, that's a really nice change. We'll see how it actually plays out. This is more of a reminder than anything else. Solo Coliseum, there's going to be the 2 final rounds. You can see the Destroyer up there. Of course, I'll be streaming this live when it comes into the game. Very excited about it, getting out the top 10s on that as well. The one thing that I do want to make sure just everyone knows, if you're watching this, is you still can go back and fight those other bosses and get your points. There was a lot of information in this stream, guys. We'll get it through it though. This wasn't covered heavily by my channel at all. Last week, Kabam did announce a new AQ format. Hey, if you've been doing map 8 or whatever, this is probably going to be a nice reprieve. The bar is low there. But that being said, I am looking forward to this. This is like a full-on map. To me, it looked a little bit like Alliance War, to be honest. Again, the big takeaway for me on this one was very much targeting ramp-up champions. We've been talking about that on this channel for a couple months now. We're seeing more and more of these ramp-up champions come into the game. Obviously not going to be phenomenal in Battlegrounds. Might be good in War. We don't know. Kabam's got to give us a place to use them. That's feedback I've been giving them for years. It looks like they're trying to do that. I mean, they specifically stated, not only in the slide here, but on the stream, geared to highlight ramp up champions. Maybe our new Star Lords, our shiny Star Lords, are going to have a place to look good. I know JJJ, Spider Slayer, ramps up phenomenally just from fight to fight. So I'm very excited about this. Give it a go and see what it's all about. Next, we moved on to a prestige boost. You can see the champions on there. You can see the slide. The big takeaway for me that I want to make sure everyone heard is that while these champions will be getting a prestige boost, the top 200 prestige, I went back. I made sure that I believe that is exactly what he said. The top 200 prestige champions will still remain the top 200. So if you've been investing in those top prestige champions, do not worry. All of a sudden, Juggernaut's not going to come over and be the new prestige king. You will still respect the investments of the people who went and got those high prestiges, while also, you know, giving, I think, folks who had wanted to rank up Juggernaut and have them 6,200, get them some prestige growth as well too. For February, the side quest is going to be the Squad Builder will return, similar to Fantastic Force Recruitment. The one thing that I want to make sure everyone sees is that we are going to get the first appearance of 7-star Gold Pool. This was predicted on my Discord server. I think it was late last night. So congratulations on that prediction. It's going to have a theme around Lunar New Year, which is also in February as well. So this will be pretty cool. And I think the appearance of 7-star Gold Pool, pretty fun. Additionally, Heimdall is coming. This will be, his buff will be with the update, which will be launching this Monday. He's getting a nice buff. It did look pretty good. He will also be coming to the Titan in March. And like I said, the buff will be going live this Monday, buffed Heimdall. And they specifically shouted out, if this is wrong, I'm sure my chat will let me know and I will put it in the pinned comment. But I feel certain that I heard them say his synergies will be remaining. Moving on to the new champions for the month. The first one is going to be M'Baku. His pre-release bundle will be live on February 5th. They specifically counted out going to be very strong against evaders and auto blockers. I will admit the damage looked pretty good. Big red burst damage, particularly off those specials. I'm particularly interested in him, and in a really weird way. Well, let's go ahead and get to the next one. Here is, and everyone has known this is going to be none other than Blue Marvel. I will say he did look a little bit more complicated or complex than M'Baku, so there's a chance I just wasn't understanding it that well. Additionally, I'm curious if he's going to have strong defensive value. We'll see. His pre-release bundle will be going live on February 17th. And I was not overwhelmed by what I saw. He does look like he is going to be a ramp-up champion in a fight, and then also over the course of the quest. And I want to be really clear. Those initial thoughts are just purely on watching a few seconds of the live stream while also trying to take notes and screenshots. So I could be very wrong. And you want to keep an eye out for his deep dives coming live this weekend. Next is more news on Buff Magic. Wasn't a ton of information on what is actually going to be in her buff. You can see the art there, and they wanted to let us know going to be live in March. Those of you who spend a lot of your ratings, there looks like there's going to be a couple different ways to also possibly get her. You're going to probably have to spend those, so keep that in mind. So if you're really interested in getting her with the radiance, you're going to want to go ahead and hold on to that. Really excited about it. We don't really know much about what she's going to be like, though. This is going to be what appears to be the next sale coming live in game, February 13th. Love is a Battle Realm. You can see these romance items. You can kind of see the list there. The big takeaway from this one is that there will be keys for the box in the Odin. They did say there'd be 2 keys, so that's pretty cool if you're a spender. Also, 1 free key in the web store. You can see Clairvoyant there. I know that got a lot of people very excited. And then the champions in the box, you can see none other than Captain Britain. Hopefully, if you're a free-to-play player, you are able to pull her. She's really a menace on Battlegrounds defense. Karnak coming as a 7-star. That's regular Phoenix. For a second there, I got very excited. I thought it was Dark Phoenix. It's not. It is regular Phoenix, who is a powerful champion. Ramps up really quite nicely herself. Mr. Fantastic, Star-Lord. And the first appearance is 7-star Black Widow Clairvoyant. I do think she's going to be good. Those who are wondering, like, oh, shouldn't I just get Nico? Yeah, Nico's, I think, a superior champion. Black Widow, I think, does still have a role to play in the game. She's a phenomenal champion. We're almost done, y'all. I promise. Even I feel like this is a little long, but I want to get this done. And I appreciate y'all hanging out. Next, we are moving on to the Ascension base pool. As I said, I will do a separate video covering this, kind of getting some thoughts out on it, but I want to include this in this stream because it was talked about. They were saying that the base pool will launch with 5 champions per class. We'll show you the classes that are going to be involved in that. We're going to move quite quickly to these retroactive rewards. If you've been watching my channel, I think it's very important for me to say, I was wrong about how this is going to work. I apologize. It seems many of my viewers did understand that, though, so I'm very happy about that. I thought these retroactive rewards were going to be essentially able to be turned in to accumulate any of the ascendable champions. That is not going to be the case. I think that is a very clear reading of this, though. I think I just completely misunderstood. Here is the pool of champions that you will be able to use those retroactive rewards to get. It is going to be in this super duper pool. Again, I'll talk about this more at length in the separate video. Here they are. I think for a lot of people, there's going to hopefully be at least one champion you are excited about, because this is what your super duper retroactive rewards are going to be allowing you to get. It's going to be in a box style, if you're familiar with that from Banquet as other sales. Again, we'll go ahead in more depth and editorialize a bit more. I do think some of these champions are strong, and I think others are Danny Moonstar. We'll go ahead and now look at the Ascension base pool, and these are going to be like the regular Ascension. We don't know every single champion, but we got to know 2, and in one case 3 champions that will be coming in each class. The really exciting is a lot of these include buff champions. We've got Baron Zemo and buffed Korg. The baseline for Korg's damage was pretty low to begin with, so it's hard to say exactly how much better it was, but it did look pretty good on stream. I'm particularly extremely excited about Spider-Punk. I think Spider-Punk is excellent now. An Ascended Spider-Punk, I'm very excited about. I think the idea of High Evolutionary staying alive longer is a little bit scary. Those of you who don't think he's a good defender, we'll see how we feel in a few months. Now moving on to the Mystic class. Sticking with the defender theme is going to be Mojo and Sasquatch. Moving on to Cosmic, we have none other. This is another buff that is coming in. Buffed Vision Arceus. When they first announced Arceus, I was like, oh God, no. And then they did say he is going to be getting buffed, along with Adam Warlock. Moving on to the tech champions here, we have Penny Parker. Doesn't really need a buff. Again, her living a bit longer, I think, may increase her defensive value, even with Hulklings and Gallons running around. And then a buff to Lady Deathstrike. Again, we'll talk about that in the upcoming video. Pretty excited about that. I really enjoyed her a lot. It just had to do with the actual ranking her up, which was a little bit difficult. We'll talk about that more in the future video. I apologize, I did not get a good slide of this one, but you're getting to know a little bit more about buffed Emma Frost. I know she's got her fan now. She's a very good champion. I think modernizing her is going to be very exciting. Unfortunately, Buff Toad is also in the pool. I know like a few of you are like, hey, I like him. And then Bishop, which I think will be exciting. Nothing on a buff for Bishop. I'm not really sure he quote unquote needs one. I would have loved to see him modernize a little bit, but he's still an excellent champion. And again, I think another champion where if they're living longer, they're going to feel more potent as a defender. On to finally the final page. There's a lot of information in this one. To Act 9.4, not a lot of information on this, just that it is coming, unfortunately not till April, which I know is a disappointment to a lot of folks. The Chrono Serpent has infected Karina, and there she is. One of the most long tenured champion designers is working on the boss encounter, so that should be pretty exciting. We got a little bit of channel art of character art here on the buffed Ghost Rider. They didn't give us any more information about the kit or when exactly it's coming, just kind of a reminder. And this was the 2025 rework winner. And again, the art, dude, I can't wait for this buff to go live. It better be good. It better be good and make him good in all modes. The buff that was part of, I wrote this down as the rich guy vote, the Cable buff they got to pick the people who had I think the top 30 results in Banquet got to pick from a pool of champions on who was going to be receiving a buff. They let us know the animations won't be changing for Cable, but the art does look refreshed. I was a big enjoyer of Cable. Did quite a few videos on him with the synergy with Apocalypse. So I'm pretty excited about this. Plus I like old guys, we got to stick together. So I'm pretty pumped up on that. And then last but not least, for this, we had the vote winner, which it was a funny moment on the stream. I thought they did a really nice job with it. They accidentally let everyone know early that it was actually Colossus Age of Apocalypse. Again, I've talked to you guys at length the last couple of weeks. I was like, I don't think it's for sure that Pork Grind is going to win. It's really going to be about whether Pork Grind is able to pick up the votes from the people are voting for like Phantasm and things like that. But it seems like the anti-pork grind contingent did a good job with their propaganda, and we now have Colossus Age of Apocalypse. Keep an eye out for my video on the Ascension Champions, kind of my initial thoughts on what a smart thing to do there is. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Woo, that was a lot of talking. All right, let's get back to this. Why didn't we get Ghost Rider rework? What do you mean? Did I miss something? Or are you guys just saying like, why isn't it live in game yet? I want to talk about the Ascension pool too. Where is that? Ascension slide 1. We need 7-star Doom. Ghost Rider's coming in like May. They didn't say a specific time. What? Right? I don't think they said a specific time. Yeah, they just said Ghost Rider built ... this year. They're receiving a full rebuild, releases a new champion, more details and kit. So I recall I was excited. I thought they were going to say he was coming very soon. Yeah, they just said soon. Oh, they said after April? Okay. Kabam should fix Strife. So Strife, I haven't played him seriously in years, but Strife ramped really well. I've meant what I've been telling you all, that these Kabam does accidentally do things, obviously, right? Like, obviously. But especially when it comes to the character designs, like after a few times, I feel like over playing for 11 years, a trend is usually intentional. And so when we had like this many like kind of ramp up characters coming, I was like, I think that they're really working towards a thing. We just don't know what it is yet. And Strife ramps up very, very well. Strife is a good champion. It'll just be interesting to see how he fills out. I get what you're saying though. Like I was saying with Bishop, I was like, I kind of wish he had gotten buffed. Bishop's great, like needs a buff. I don't know about that, but I think he's great. And so it would have been nice to have seen him get buffed a little bit. I need him to introduce Hellfire with nobody but him being immune to it. I mean, they've done that quite a few times, man. Why don't we play the game a little bit and we'll talk about everything we learned as I lower my desk, turn on this light, and sit down. Javed, what's up? Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Thank you so much for being here. Ascension is the only good thing about the stream. Yeah, I think, I'm excited about the game in general. I like hearing about all these different champions, the events and things like that. So I think I'm predisposed to thinking the stream was maybe better if you're not excited about all those sorts of things, which is fair. You don't need to be. I think it's A-okay. We lost this war. We did clear the map. Why did we lose? I think it's from our defenders. We didn't place 4 defenders, which would explain why they don't have the same amount of attacker kills. Mistakes were made. We'll move on. Not gonna lie, the stream got me pumped. Yeah, let me know how you're feeling about the stream in general. Like I said, I think I'm more like predisposed to being pretty hyped about it. There's only, I think, one thing about sales on the whole thing. We got Ascension news, which I do think was pretty exciting. I'm curious about your all's thoughts on the Ascension as well too, please. Is right now my advice and the way I'm gonna kind of operate is I'm not gonna try to go too far one thing or the other. Like there's a lot of buff champions. We don't know exactly how they're gonna land. I think when it comes to Ascension, like one of the notes I actually even wrote down is if they go a certain direction with this, right? Like let's say like Korg. Right now, Korg in most metas, in most situations, is a nothing defender. because we've got Onslaught and Jean Grey and keep on calling her Casanova and Cassandra Nova. But if those champions don't become ascendable, and you've got a Korg Ascension like level 8, let's say, and this is the middle of 2027, Korg's probably a good defender again. Like a very good defender. He's got a massive health pool too. And now you can use him on offense. But I think to try to like make that decision now about like, ooh, I'm going to rank Korg for sure because blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Like I think there's a very possible path here where this is almost like a full reset of the quote unquote general meta of the game. I think we're just going to learn over time. And I think the other thing to keep really in mind here is, Kabam often wants us to remember that there's a live service game. So I think what they're probably going to do is they're going to try a thing, see how it works out. If it goes well, try it again, like 3 or 4 months later when it comes to Ascension or what have you, or champion design, and just kind of continue to reiterate, obviously trying to get as many W's as possible and avoid the L's. So I think what I want to make sure, the one big point I want to get across in any sort of Ascension talk right now is, I think continue to rank up the champions you would like, that are beneficial for the mode you're enjoying, and try to not go too far into the prognostication, influencing what you're doing with your rank up resources. That's what I'm going to do, while also trying to make videos that you find entertaining, right? Like I happen to know people are going to want, I believe strongly, people are going to want to see what a rank 5 ascended Peter Parker looks like. So there's a chance my first rank 5 champion is rank 5 Peter Parker. I'm not going to go insane. Like if you guys are like, but I want to know what Sandman looks like, I'll be like, well, you should find out. but yeah, I am going to keep that stuff in mind too. I have a feeling people are going to be far less excited about those baseball champs once they see how heavily that side of Ascension gets monetized. Yeah, and that's on the whole like Kabam and constantly iterating. Like I'm sure the first sale with Ascension materials, how did it go over? How did the community respond? Did they encourage low and moderate spending, or was it only the massive whales who buy everything anyway? That sort of thing. Did it cause a lot of free to play players to decide not to play the game anymore and walk away or get angry on the forums? Like a lot, I think it's just a different thing. Work, they will still sell Ascension materials. Why load? Oh, dude, yeah, they're gonna sell the they're gonna sell the hell out of Ascension. They should. I mean, it was either Ascension or 8 stars. I'm glad they picked Ascension. Or Scorp, top 2 favorite champs in the game. Sandman will be your R5. Hello, oh, nice, dude. Hello, Kisame. I know I missed a subscriber in that, and I apologize. It came while I was filming. I do apologize. If it was you, would you please let me know? And thank you very much for all the follows. I think obviously because drops are active. No, hey, Bandar. Thank you so much. If I lose a match, I lose a match. I don't care. I want you to get your recognition and know that I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. And thank you again for all the follows. I think because this is the first time I have streamed directly after a Kabam stream, there's obviously more follows than typical. And so I'm just not going to be able to keep up with the rate. But I know that I do appreciate you. Thank you so much. I hope you're seeing the graphic that we've set up there to acknowledge you all. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal as we continue to get this channel going on the Twitch side. Seeing prestige champs, do you think they're leaning heavy into that? Oh, dude, absolutely. As soon as we started finding out about prestige top 30, they still have the whole, they didn't bring it up in the stream now that I think about it. The, what's it called? The, shoot. Collectives. Do you guys remember collectives? They alluded to IBOM talking about Bishop. Okay, so that would be it too, kind of to Work's point. Like, let's get those prestige champs going, right? I mean, they know what they're doing. I know sometimes it doesn't look like they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. The appearances can be deceiving. Of course, Maddie, I appreciate y'all being here and keeping me on track too, you know? Collections, yeah, collections, collectives. I don't remember, is it collections? It might be called collections. But they didn't mention that at all. Now that I think about it, that's kind of strange. And we didn't see anything about Fortress Assault. So I don't think they're going to drop either of those. I do think, as you guys know, I'm not in the CCP anymore. I left it in October, I believe. I do believe well, I got to focus. Up. I do believe there is a chance they got some pretty negative feedback on collectives. And so I don't think they'll drop collectives in whole. But I could see them being like, maybe back to the drawing board a little bit on this one. We'll see. Unless it's running a PowerPoint. That was hilarious, dude. So those who didn't see it, they accidentally revealed the winner of the vote when they were trying to do, what were they supposed to be doing? I don't even remember anymore. But it was something else, and they accidentally released it. I thought it was funny. I got a good laugh out of it. Not paying enough attention. I think I probably should take a yelling. Kabam always has a game plan. Yeah. And the beauty of like, you think about it, man, right? Like, the beauty of a game like this, and they're obviously very good at it, is players are so invested. So when Kabam does mess up, they can like harness that tackiness, that stickiness of our player base, and just try to make it right the next month or the next sale or the next event, you know? Like, the next opportunity to get a W or an L is literally the next day. Like, and that's constant, you know? So, yeah, it's, I know a lot of you are used to this. I was not. This whole game experience has just been so different than everything I was used to as a kid. The cable reveal, I'm pumped up for that, man. Jean Grey and her shield, dude. Jean Grey and her shield, or M-effing shield. That thing, I remember the first time I was like, you know what? I want to try Jean Grey on Hazard Shift. But she's not immune to it. I know. But she's got a really powerful shield. And she was like crushing stuff. And she's become, I thought Scorpion was going to be my favorite option for Kindred in this meta. No. It turns out it's actually Jean Grey. Because as you saw, if you were watching, what was the sig on this one? This 180 is a ring 4 180. Even with the mistake with the intercept there, her shield's like, I got you, bro. I got you. We good. You don't need to worry about it. And I didn't time the route well either, Matt. To Matt's point, I was rooted for a good period of time. Now we got some punishes in, so that was helpful, but still. Let's see here. I think Onslaught. Thank you very much for the follow. They were trying to reveal Cable when they accidentally revealed. That was funny, yeah. All right, thank you for the reminder there. Pork Grind and Phantasmal will definitely come soon rather than later. I think so too, Briny. Although I wonder about Pork. There was a strong anti-Pork contingent. But I could see the next time the game team's looking for like kind of a silly character, you know? I could see them going straight to him because there was a lot of people who did like him too, obviously. Hey, Work, are you proud of me for remembering Hurt Locker? I sure as hell am. Because I was like, oh, I'm gonna F this up. Don't forget Hurt Locker. Don't forget Hurt Locker, right? Kept wanting to say Foot Locker. Oh, that sucks, because they had a nice fight on that side. This meta do be crazy things. Crazy things. Mike did a great job on the stream. A few curveballs that he handled very well. Yep, yeah. You can tell he's got great stage presence. Really does. And you can tell he knows the game so well still, you know? There's always one. There is always one. Huh. Captain Cop, play better than that? Are you serious right now? Or is that like one of those sarcastic jabs? You want better than that, man? All right, man. All right. For you, I'll try. If you hadn't said that, I was going to purposely play poorly. I'm newer to the game, stuck on Act 4, Book 1, 2 5-star champions, and a few 4-stars. What should I be doing to get further along? Just continue to work on the act content. Don't like, I did a video on like being new to the game and stuff, and like save your units. Honestly, I know the sales and everything was really tempting, and the crystals are really tempting too. I know because I was new at 1.2. Save your units for mastery points. Make sure you fill out your mastery tree. It's going to help you so much. And one of the things that's always pointed out about masteries is they will never lose their value, right? Like anything else is going to lose value over the course of the game. We were all maxed out on 4 stars at some point. We're now talking about 7-star ascension, okay? So get your mastery points no matter what star level you have. They're going to stay with you. That investment sticks forever. Save your units for that. Get through act content. Make sure you actually enjoy the game, and getting through act content will force you to get better at it, and it will force you to decide whether you actually like the game and it's worth spending on or spending your time on it. Just get through the act content. You get really good rewards from doing it. You'll be able to start ranking up. You'll start opening 7-star crystals as well too. Now on the like self promo side of this, myself and the group I call the Illuminati, who are some of the best players in the world, and they're also willing to take the time to look over a variety of my tier lists and spreadsheets. We have a variety of tier lists for like who are the best champions to rank up, who are the best champions in the game, and all of that. I highly suggest you take a look at that. In Act 4, you throughout the game, more often than not, you can rank up the champions you enjoy. One of the things I've said for years is there's a good chance you don't enjoy crappy champions. So if you're having good success with a champion and they're helping you clear content, it's highly unlikely they're bad. You don't need my tier list to tell you that. But if you'd like more information on where these champions kind of rank, you can take a look at my tier list and go for there. And then continue to show up to streams like this. There's so many phenomenal MCoC content creators. You've got, all jokes aside, that fight I just did was really, really good. There are content creators though, like Cantona was streaming this morning, Barrowman streams like all the time, that are much better players than me, who probably could do it even faster. And then there's going to be people like myself who do a lot more talking and information sharing, and our gameplay is just not quite as good. So find some places you feel really good about it. Welcome to the game, by the way. Yeah, you got it, man. My whole point is never to sell anyone on the game, but to try to help people like get through the game and have a good time with it. Watch YouTube Act 4 guides. If you know of one, let me know. I don't know. I was going to shout out MCoC Encyclopedia, who you should also that is one content I'd say for sure. Familiarize yourself with MCoC Encyclopedia. His guides are phenomenal, and he does a lot of act content guides. I don't know if he went to Act 4, though. That's why I didn't shout him out right away. Noob is the GOAT for guides too. I don't know, does Noob have Act 4? But follow honestly. If you're gonna, if I love your follow and your subscribe to, but if you're gonna choose only one MCoC YouTuber to subscribe to, I would go with either Noob or MCoC Encyclopedia. Followed closely by me, but I'd rather get you the best information for what you're trying to tackle right now. All right. Uh-oh. Let's get Rhino out. Let's get her out. And her out. We're going almost 3 hours. Okay, I think, unless I just play outrageously well, I think this is going to be the last one for today. As I said, I got a flight to catch. And I have got a lot. I still need to, I want to edit that synopsis video. I want to do the Ascension video. I still need to record the tier list. I got a lot of, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get to it all, guys. I'll be back. I think Monday night. Shoot. I don't think I'm gonna be able to record everything before I go. I'm looking at the time. Yeah. All right. Whatever. That's a me problem. That's not a you guys problem. Okay. What am I doing? Hey, Donnie. What's up, bud? No, Noob doesn't, but Seaton does. So Seaton Act 4, dude, was probably really out of date, though. It might not be. I don't know. Thanks for giving advice there. I see you, Old Man Easy, and the rest of y'all. I really appreciate that stuff. Did he doesn't have a Cassandra, does he? Not too focused in on this one. K2 has one? Okay. K2's a very good channel. Thank you. I appreciate y'all shouting people out. Yeah, have a great one, Kratos. Thanks for being here, bud. Do we think let's try it. Let's try our sad little rank 3 Havoc. Let's try him. And we'll try to press the issue here against Serpent. Pressing the issue against Serpent doesn't often go well. Where am I going? Just LA. Hex, what's up, bud? Thanks for being here, dude. Uh-oh, I gotta pick my pre-fights. Hex, you're trying to sabotage me. I know you, man. I don't know if I got that in. That other fight's gonna go pretty fast, so we gotta... No! That is not... I feel like hands right now. They're like, you are lying. I know that I was hitting block. I know that I guess I probably wasn't. I don't know. I felt like I was. Yep. Cool. The good thing is it didn't cost me the match. Barrow sounds like a Russian name. And yeah, I mean, keep in mind... Oh, okay, I got what you're saying. Hey. I was like, I know he was... people were saying so. I was like, dude, like... He's... Yeah. I like Barrow. I like his streams. I'll just leave it at that. Dorky Dave. Dave's probably got some really good early on stuff too, or just like dexing and whatnot. Yeah, that's a good call. Gotta go. Hey, thanks for being here, Agent. Yeah, let's do this. Old but useful. That's what my wife says about me. All right. We've got to keep this girl out of the sun. She can be an annoying little defender. Of course, I then knock her into the sun. I didn't mean to throw the SP1. I think most of you guys, I even put out a short of Werewolf. I just mistimed that trying to go fast. I'm actually meant to throw the special 2, which would have ended the fight, I'm sure. Listening to stream with the gym, getting ready for my workout. Hell yeah, have a great one, dude. Thanks for laughing, life. That is much better than old and useless. That is also true. That is also true. I may be approaching that, though. That's the problem. Nicely done. It worked. Yeah, thanks. I didn't think they had a wonderful matchup on the other side. So even after I made the initial error, I was like, all right, just keep calm and Wolf will take care of this for me. Here, I should probably look at this next matchup just to see what we got. There's Sig. That's a rank 3 Deadpool, but in this meta, I think the rank 3 Deadpool could still obliterate my Fury. I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, okay, I know what we're doing. I feel good about it. Wolf and Jean usually the attacker right now. Yeah. It's cool. I love playing Werewolf, and so I will admit though that there's been some recent metas where I haven't used him. I think I'm just not quite skilled enough to pull it off. Like I see the vision, but I'm like, it's just not working for me. And so I didn't have him like in the last meta, but in this one, my skill allows me to pull off that kind of stuff. So it's worked out. I love using him. He's one of my favorite characters to play by a good margin in this game. That's a surprising choice. I feel like I'm falling for a trap. Are you either falling for a trap or they wanted yeah, I think I fell for a trap and it caused me to we'll find out. We'll either laugh or we'll cry. Let's find out which one it's going to be. That's what I was thinking, Alpha. That was my thought. I'm just surprised to see it. I've seen a couple. I think we're all still figuring the meta out exactly. You guys know that I'm a huge fan of Bastion, so I'm still lost. All right, good fight to them. I did not see that coming at all. I think Deadpool's doing things that is that just SP1, like a single SP1? Is that what that is? So maybe I should have placed Bastion and then tried to Kushala it. Yeah. So if I place Bastion though, actually I probably should have placed Bastion. Right? Because with his 100% resistance to bleed and poison, then they go Kushala. And then I have Gene for whoever. I think that's what place Bastion, use Gene. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like I said, I think I fell for like a bit of a trap. I was just so thrown off. But I wasn't thinking that either. Like I just got outplayed for sure. Yeah, Bastion on defense, Gene on offense. Well, live and learn. All right, guys. I gotta bounce. Like I said, I got a flight to catch. I'm gonna try to get those videos out. Didn't I use Wolf? Wolf was in my early deck in Invade, but then by the time I got the meta down better and how to do the fights, I had removed him. That's my memory. I'm pretty sure I did. I just wasn't using him well. Maybe if I had stuck with it, I could have. What I was gonna say though about Bastion, obviously I lost. So take this with a massive grain of salt. I'm seeing some people try to build up Bastion's charges. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out that's faster, but I don't think it is. And the reason why I'm not doing it is it then gives the opponent power. And I now have to be concerned about them throwing it. So I feel like any potential gain of maybe ending the fight in a single SP1, which is I think what you're trying to do there, I'm more thinking I'm going to lose time on them throwing a special, potentially having to bait it or evade it, sort of thing. We still have like 10 days in this meta, so we'll see how it goes. I still, this result obviously is the outlier potentially. Having more success, just land the heavy and just stay the heck away. Like, try not to give the defender power. We'll see how it goes over time, though. Thanks to everyone for the safe travel wishes. Let's raid people, though. Oh, dude.
Vegas too busy yapping as usual. So bro here saying.
Thank you so much, Omnis. I really do appreciate that. You know what, bud? Because I like people to get their credit. I'm gonna leave you up because I am signing off. And so the next stream I do, you'll be getting your credit. The next stream should probably be Tuesday, I believe. I'm taking a small trip here, so let's go ahead and raid someone, help everyone get their drops, and help another MCoC content creator get some more follows and some views and all that stuff. The support you all gave today is just overwhelming. I could not appreciate you guys more. We're going to be rating Dread. Absolutely entertaining. I watched this guy's videos. I learned a lot about the game from him, and he's really cool. He's a really, really helpful guy. So please go. Let's raid Dread. As many of you as possible, please. Please let him know that I've got a flight to catch, and so I'm unfortunately not going to be able to stop by. Please let him know. I would really appreciate y'all doing that for me. In fact, actually, I'm just going to do it right now. I see 854 of y'all went over there. I really appreciate that. So we'll be ending the Twitch stream now. And on YouTube, thank you all for hanging out, guys. If you guys don't mind, let's go raid Nick 136. I don't think you guys need me to tell you about Nick 136, but if in case I do, phenomenal Battlegrounds player, really cool channel. Big fan of Nick as well. So please let him know that I cannot hang out. And I appreciate you all hanging out. Make sure you keep an eye out for the videos. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'll catch you all really soon. Take care. Bye-bye.